Immortal clan, starting with the power of the dragon and the tiger. Hey! Look who's back for more adventures. We love having you here to continue this story that keeps us all awake. Important note, all of this is pure fiction, so don't try any techniques you hear here in real life. Your neighbor might call the cops. This amazing novel and all its rights belong to the original author. We're just the ones giving it voice and drama. Are you enjoying the show? Prove it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving that like that motivates us so much. And if you want VIP access to exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting with things you won't find anywhere else. Chapter 51 Natural and Man-Made Disasters. Time passed. Still, there was no sign of rain in Qianyuan County. The sun blazed down daily, scorching the earth and leaving fields cracked and brittle. Many ordinary people in the surrounding villages had to sell their land to survive the drought, hoping to secure food and survive. In Qianyuan County, the price of a single lamp of water had risen from 1 to 10 cents, and it was expected to continue rising. Because countless fruits and vegetables grown in the farmlands and mountains had withered, the prices of fruits and vegetables sold in the county town had increased tenfold. The same was true for other areas. In Dongxi village, the Su family was bustling with activity. They were constructing water wheels, using hollowed-out bamboo tubes to form long pipelines, which continuously transported river water from distant lands to irrigate the rice paddies and farmland. As for the mountains and forests, due to their remoteness and complex terrain, water had to be carried by hand. There, a translucent black veil obscured the sky, shrouding the vast orchards. Therefore, daily watering was unnecessary. Once every 10 days or half a month was sufficient. The Su family wasn't short on manpower. Black gauze curtains were erected across their many medicinal fields to protect them from the heat, which could kill the herbs. Besides absorbing heat, the black gauze also condensed into water droplets at night when the temperature dropped, which dripped onto the fields, alleviating some of the pressure on water resources. Coupled with constant supervision, over the course of several days, the herbs that had been languishing recovered. As for the rice, the added water and warmth even accelerated its ripening. The bamboo pipes were crucial, and the Su family deployed numerous guards to prevent them from being tampered with. However, due to the water shortage, if they dried up, the water wheels and bamboo pipes would need to be replaced, and finding new ones would be a significant hassle. And if while nearby water sources dried up, even Chuan would be helpless. After all, he was only a mortal and couldn't make rain appear out of thin air. A month later, all of Chuan's rice fields were ripe, and he was practically the only family in the area harvesting the crops. The same was true for the fruits and vegetables. More and more common people were selling their land to the Su family. In a short time, nearly 80% of the farmland in Dongxi village became the property of the Su family. Unfortunately, the crops, fruits and vegetables in those fields had already withered, and Chuan was powerless to do anything, having to wait until the drought was over before planting again. In a flash, more than 3 months passed. Countless people in Qianyuan County starved to death, and the same was true in many nearby counties. During this period, many wealthy families in other villages suffered disasters. Entire families were often murdered, and the property was looted. There was no sign of the county government stepping in to manage the situation. The Su family was no exception. In just 2 months, everything changed. Servants, maids, and guards were killed or fled. Some even robbed the master's property and fled. The Su family's mansion was burned down, and it is unknown how many survived and where they fled. Of course, the Su family also encountered a few attacks, but the attackers were all killed. Su's main hall. The Su family's direct descendants gathered. White Tiger lay slumped behind Su Mingshu's chair, yawning with his mouth open. Also present were Gu Yiping, Li Er and his son, Zhou Ming, Zhao Dalan, Chen Ergao, and others. It could be said that the current core members of the Su family were all present. How unpredictable things are. The Su family, once the wealthiest family in Dongxi village, has fallen to this state, Chen Ergao lamented, then looked at Chuan. Yes, when I was young, I worked as a farmhand with my father in his household. Back then, the Su family's sons were so arrogant and domineering, natural disasters are beyond human control. Whenever they occur, the devastation spreads far and wide. Li Er sighed, thinking of his former family. Even the county town might not be safe from natural disasters. Therefore, Chuan called everyone back and simply closed all industries in Qianyuan County to brainstorm solutions for the drought. This drought is a once-in-a-century event. If the Wei Kingdom doesn't take action, I'm afraid Yuhu County will truly be devastated by starvation." Gu Yiping shook his head and sighed. At this moment, Bai Hua entered the hall, looking at Bai Jing with a sorrowful expression. He said, "Eldest sister, the Zheng family is gone, and second sister, is gone too." Bai Jing was struck by lightning, tears streaming down her face. "Xia Fang, Bai Hua, take your sister back to her room to rest, and comfort your father-in-law and mother-in-law, so they can mourn." Su Chuan, ignoring his lament, sighed. "Understood, brother-in-law." Su Chuan looked at the others. From this moment on, the Su family's surroundings will be patrolled day and night, including the Su family's farmland, forests, and other properties. If we encounter an attack by criminals, immediately fire a cannon to signal us, using different color signals for different threat levels. I want to see how many reckless people dare to trouble our Su family. The Su family now cared nothing for the rest of Dongxi village. In these turbulent times, just being able to save one family was a blessing, and the rest were fine with it. Kindness, sympathy, at this moment, it seemed unnecessary. "Brother, we've robbed nearly every wealthy family in the surrounding area of Qianyuan County, leaving only the Su family. That's not just any wealthy village family, they're a renowned, prominent family throughout Qianyuan County," a tall, thin middle-aged man said. "Need you remind me? The Su family's reputation has long been known to every corner of Qianyuan County." A sturdy middle-aged man with a scar on his face kicked him, took a sharp bite of the slightly unripe fruit, and then spit it out, throwing the entire fruit away. "Damn, it's disgusting," but once the fruit reached the house, it was fought over by many young and strong commoners, some even fighting over it. Another man said, "Brother, I heard the Su family has everything from fine wine to grain to fresh fruits and vegetables." With that, the dozen or so people in the room gulped and choked. All of them were second-rate or higher-ranking warriors, 3 of them first-rate, and the scar-faced middle-aged man was at the peak of his acquired powers. The room was piled high with food, along with a number of slightly shriveled fruits and vegetables, the carcasses of 2 gray wolves, several hares, and a wild deer. The Su family isn't easy to break into. The scarred middle-aged man's eyes suddenly tightened, like a taut bowstring. "Brother, I went hunting in the mountains yesterday and passed by the Su family orchard. There were more than a dozen people patrolling. The Su family has a lot of industries, and I believe that many people are scattered in other places. We can make a feint to the east and attack in the west." The middle-aged man with the scar looked at this person, raised his eyes, and said with a smile, "Sixth brother, you are worthy of being the think tank among us. I guess you have an idea in your mind. What if I want to attack the Su family?" The sixth brother pondered for a while and said, "It is probably impossible to destroy the Su family. At most, we can cause them to suffer losses. We can take advantage of the night when the visibility is poor and let several warriors take some refugees to attack the more important industries of the Su family. As long as they are attacked in many places, they will definitely split up their troops. If not, then we can just rob apart and leave, which is not a loss. And if they split up their troops, then brother, you lead the remaining refugees to attack the Su family mansion and use them for cover. The Su family will definitely send a large number of people to deal with it. Brother, you are so powerful in martial arts, you can take advantage of the chaos to go in and plunder." The eldest son of the Su family is a congenital warrior, the middle-aged man with the scar said again. "The Su family mansion is under siege. Wouldn't this Xianshan come out to kill the enemy? We are numerous. Taking advantage of the chaos, young Master Su won't be able to take care of everyone. As long as we don't act rashly, we will definitely not be targeted first," Lao Liu continued. "Besides, he is only in the early Xianshan stage. The power of the Xianshan true energy is strong, but how many times can he use it? Once he is exhausted and under siege, he might be killed." "Brother, what Lao Liu said makes sense. The chance of success is very high." Someone immediately became excited, and the smile on the corner of his mouth became increasingly rampant. It was as if he had seen the hope of success. "Yes, the Su family has developed so rapidly in recent years. The wealth is probably much more than what we have robbed these days combined." The middle-aged man with the scar was still in deep thought. Suddenly, his eyebrows suddenly stood together like 2 swords clashing, and even the corners of his eyes were stretched into sharp lines. He looked at Lao Liu and said, "Su Jin, you are not deliberately provoking me to touch the Su family." Chapter 52 Su Jin's Plan. This Su Jin was Su Mao's eldest son. The Su family was shattered. Su Jin and several others, including the third Master Su, fled, only to encounter this group along the way. Third Master Su and his men were killed, but Su Jin, due to his considerable strength, was recruited into the gang. He harbored resentment, but dared not show it, even offering a smile as he leaned forward to be attacked. This was because the leader of this group was at the peak of the acquired realm, and they also had several top-tier warriors. Combined with the hundreds of young and strong men they had assembled, even prominent families without a first-class leader could be decimated. Su Jin, a second-rate warrior himself, offered a number of brilliant ideas, rising in rank within the bandit group, eventually reaching 6th place. Previously, Su Jin and his companions had gone hunting in the mountains and passed by Dongxi village. Seeing the Su family's peaceful life, he was reminded of his own family's misery, and resentment welled up within him. But he hated this group even more, for completely burying the Su family's last hope of rising again. He then told his companions about the Su family, arousing their greed. This led to the scene just now. As for the plan he proposed, it was feasible. Given the strength of this band of bandits, they could potentially destroy an ordinary family. However, he was also well aware of the Su family's unfathomable depths. In his heart, he hoped that both sides would perish together. Brother, it wasn't me who suggested dealing with the Su family. I was just giving you advice based on your opinion. Whether or not to carry it out is entirely up to you. Under the cover of night, visibility is already poor. As long as you're careful and let those cannon fodder die, even if something goes wrong, you and the rest of the brothers have a very high chance of survival, Su Jin said with an innocent expression, spreading his hands. As for a 100% surefire way, I'm sorry, I really can't think of one. After all, the Su family is not an ordinary family. They have Qianyuan in charge, another strong man said. Brother, I think what Lao Liu said is right. We're in a business on the edge of a knife. We've long been prepared for casualties. Besides, even if we stay here and don't move, with hundreds of people, we won't survive when we run out of ammunition and food. As for attacking the Su family, if we gain something, that would be great. If not, we can still use up some of the cannon fodder. Otherwise, who knows how long we can hold out with so many people. If we fail, the worst that can happen is that we leave Qianyuan County and go to other counties. Generally, larger families have moved to the county seat. It's rare for the Su family to stay in the countryside. It seems you, second brother, agreed to attack the Su family. The scarred middle-aged man pondered for a moment, his fierce eyes scanning the surroundings. As for the rest of the brothers, those who are willing, raise your hands and vote. Swish, swish, swish. Nearly 90% of them raised their hands. In that case, let's rob the Su family. To allay the scarred middle-aged man's concerns, Su Jin suggested, Big brother, you can wait a few days and send a few commoners in disguise to investigate and see what the Su family's personnel arrangements are, patrol shift schedules, and so on. Sixth brother, you're really attentive. The scarred middle-aged man felt slightly relieved. Let's do as you say. Second brother, you'll share responsibility for this. Yes, big brother, young master, there have been ordinary commoners hanging around several properties in recent days, a patrol guard reported. Are they all the same people? Su Mingwei's eyebrows suddenly gathered half an inch in between, carving a shallow groove in his forehead. No, the patrol guard shook his head. Su Mingwei's brow relaxed, figuring it was just a coincidence. Brother, things are out of the ordinary. We must be on guard. Su Mingsun suddenly spoke up. Upon hearing this, he felt a sudden intuition and a vague sense of unease. True, but there's no need to panic. As long as we maintain day and night patrols and show our strength, I believe the thieves won't dare to attack our Su family. Su Mingsun nodded slightly, agreeing with Su Mingwei's point. This had happened before, but it quickly faded, all because the thieves had the will but not the courage. Yet, for some reason, the worry within him lingered, like a lingering cloud of worry, a lump in his throat. Su Mingsun immediately sought out Su Chuan and explained the situation, hoping to gain his perspective. In his eyes, Su Chuan was the wisest man. A few Li people appeared around? You feel a lingering cloud of worry. Su Mingsun couldn't understand, but Su Chuan did. This was the effect of his, seek profit and avoid harm, fate innate talent. If Su Mingsun hadn't said so, he would probably have thought it was just a fluke, and at most, deployed a few more troops and increased patrols. Tan Tao, father believes in you. From now on, you must trust your instincts. It could save your life in a critical moment. Yes, father, A smile immediately crossed Su Mingxuan's face at the recognition. Don't worry about this matter. I'll make arrangements. 2 days later, Su Chuan received a warning from the hexagram. Today's hexagram, ominous. At the hour of high, a large number of refugees will be gathered by peak-level postnatal warriors to attack the Su family orchards, farmland, medicinal fields, and mansion. A large number of refugees, probably hundreds of people. One peak-level postnatal warrior is definitely not enough. Perhaps several, plus a number of first- and second-rate warriors. The hexagram didn't provide a specific indication, so Su Chuan could only make a best-case estimate. If you want to attack my Su family, I will make sure you never return. Not far from the Su family's main gate stood a watchtower several dozen meters high. This tower was built by Su Chuan specifically for Su Mingwei. The surrounding area, stretching for over 10 miles, was completely open. Standing there, Su Mingwei could see everything, even at night. Coupled with his proficiency in archery, a single arrow could pierce the bodies of 7 or 8 people in a densely populated area, knocking back 20 or 30 others. This was just the power of the black iron bow. With the frost-breaking clouds, it would be even more terrifying. Night fell. Su Chuan suddenly summoned all patrol guards to the main gate, including Su Mingwei and the others. Tonight, double the number of personnel will be deployed to the orchards, medicinal fields, and farmland until dawn. The guards were somewhat shocked. Su Mingwei, Su Mingyan, and the others looked at their father in confusion. Awen, Yu, Yunyu, Instructor Zhang, and Jin. Go protect the orchard. Dan Yu, Instructors Meng, and Zuji will take Beihu to the medicinal fields. Tan Tao, Li Zhi, Instructor Chang, Instructor Jin, Zhao Dalan, and Sun Fuge will go to the farmland. The usual number of patrol guards will patrol with torches, and the rest will ambush the surrounding area. As for Shi Tao, you will be in the watchtower. If anyone approaches, they will be killed. A cold murderous aura erupted from Su Chuan. The others, sensing his determination, fell silent. All they had to do was trust their father. Trust their patriarch. Everyone went their separate ways and set off. Only 3 top-notch instructors from the Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School and dozens of servants who had practiced martial arts but were not warriors remained at the Su family mansion. A large number of arrows were brought out. The watchtower had roller skates that could deliver a constant stream of arrows. Master Su, I, Gu, live and eat at your house, so I should do something. Otherwise, I will feel uneasy. Gu Yiping walked up to Su Chuan and bowed to him. Su Chuan turned to look at Gu Yiping, stopped him from bowing, and said with a smile, Brother Gu, we are of the same generation, so there is no need to do this. If you are willing, in an hour, you and I will go to the orchard and the medicinal field respectively and keep a secret watch. If there is no danger, there is no need to take action. After all, the children also need experience. That's right. Gu Yiping clasped his fists and smiled slightly. Chapter 53, Falling into Trap, Extraordinary Archery. It was midnight. The night was still. Scart and his men approached Dongxi village. 2nd, 7th, 8th, take 50 or so to the orchard. Focus on the green jade pears. I don't think that Thornwall can stop you. 3rd, 9th, 10th, take 40 or so to the medicinal fields. Don't worry, just grab a handful and stuff them into the sacks. 4th, 11th, 12th, take 40 or so to the farmland as well. Grab whatever you find. The rest of you, follow me and ambush a mile outside Su's house. Wait for the opportunity. Under Scar's command, they acted with impeccable precision, immediately dividing up and moving. In the orchard. Who's there? Suddenly, there was a rustling in the grass. A patrolling guard turned, his torch flames rising like crimson dragons, its light piercing the ink, illuminating the trembling weeds. Brothers, charge! The second brother drew the 2 swords from his waist and, with a furious roar, slashed down on the torch-bearing guard. Just as the blade was about to strike, a figure suddenly appeared from the side, stepping on the wind. With a thrust of his sword, he blocked with a clang. A clang of metal clashed, and sparks flew from the point where the 2 blades collided, illuminating the 3 men's hair and brows. There really are thieves. Su Mingyan's heart trembled, astonished by his father's foresight. Without time to ponder further, he drew the long sword from his waist and pointed the cold blade at the bandits. Kill them. He then called to Su Mingxin at his side. Anu, don't stray too far from me. Su Mingxin ignored him and leaped forward, his feet swift as the wind, charging into the crowd, his giant sword slashing with radiant light. He was aloof, always more action-oriented than talk-driven. "Oh my god, what's wrong with this kid?" Su Mingyan was only aware of the sharp flash of swords before him. Su Mingxin's skills now rivaled his own. The sword's momentum surged like a roaring wave crashing against the shore, each attack swift, precise, and ruthless. The blade's tip flickered with a sharper, more murderous aura than his usual wielding. Stunned for a moment, Su Mingyan hurriedly said, "Yunyu, wait for your second brother, the herbal medicine field." Upon discovering the patrol, the third brother and his brothers suddenly launched an attack, and the others followed suit. But they never anticipated the presence of many others hiding in the shadows. Another surprise attack. "Xiaobei, kill them!" Mounted on a white tiger, Su Mingshu pounced, slaughtering several men with a single blow. With a flick of his tail, another man flew backward several meters, his ribs broken and dying. How could there be an ambush? Did the sixth brother leak the information? "Retreat, everyone, retreat!" Instructor Meng blocked the third brother's path. Su Mingshu knew the voice was the leader of the group and immediately patted the white tiger. "Xiaobei, kill him. We'll go get our father's reward and give you a treat tomorrow." The white tiger roared excitedly and leaped forward. Its 2-meter-tall frame and ferocious aura would intimidate even a peak-level martial artist. "Get out of my way!" The third brother sent Instructor Meng flying, narrowly avoiding the white tiger's claws, but a dark shadow swooped in and lashed him to the ground. Then the tiger's claws pressed down. Crack, crack, crack. 5 or 6 ribs broke. The third brother spat out a mouthful of blood, his eyes rolled back, and his breath immediately weakened. Su Mingshu leaped up and plunged her sword into his chest, then rolled back onto the tiger's back, commanding the white tiger to charge. He struck wherever he pointed, drawing wails wherever he passed. Instructor Meng sighed at this, feeling like a superfluous figure. The following appears to be unrelated text fragments and should likely be omitted. The battle was also raging, the shouts and cries of blood and blood deafening. The enemy had only 1 first-rate warrior and 2 second-rate warriors, while Su Mingxin and his men had 2 first-rate warriors and 3 second-rate warriors. While their guards were outnumbered, each was a warrior, and among them were 7 or 8 third-rate warriors. How could the common young and strong be a match for them? It was a one-sided slaughter. At the gate of the Su residence, on the observation tower, scarred middle-aged man Su Jin and his men approached cautiously, hiding in the grass. They thought they were acting stealthily, undetectable. But Su Mingwei had spotted them when they were 3 or 4 miles away. His eyebrows were sharp, drawn together, carving a shallow groove in his forehead like a sword unsheathed. Father was right. "Someone is attacking our Su family. Send up the arrows," he whispered softly, his voice gathering into line, clearly reaching the ears of everyone below, but not spreading far. The arrows delivered were ordinary iron arrows, while the cloud-breaking arrows were slung across his back along with a frostbow. Bundle after bundle of iron arrows were delivered and set aside, quickly piling up to hundreds. Suddenly, Su Mingwei noticed shouts and cries coming from the farmlands, forests, and medicinal herb fields. Then, he clearly saw one of them raise his hand, as if giving orders. The next moment, the 250-plus men rose, armed with sticks, knives, iron tools, and other weapons, and charged. Standard weapons like swords are not easy to acquire en masse, so only 100 or so of these men possessed proper swords. The man who had given the orders hid at the back, charging with the crowd. Trying to take advantage of this troubled waters? "I'll start with you." Su Mingwei drew his powerful black iron bow, his sharp, cold eyes fixed on the scarred middle-aged man. He drew his bow and drew his arrow. The dozens of servants at the Su family's gate, hearing the sound, knew the attackers were numerous, their hearts leaping to their throats. They all felt that today was the day to repay the Su family. "My children, your father has gone to secure a future for you." But then, whoosh, a sound pierced the sky. Every servant stopped, each looking up. The arrows were black, difficult to see in the darkness, and the sound was drowned out by the roar of the charge. The servants stared blankly. By the time scarred middle-aged realized what was happening, his pupils had barely time to dilate before he was shot through the throat, sending him flying dozens of meters backward. Those around scarred middle-aged were too slow to react, stopping moments later, their faces horrified as they turned to look back. Brother is dead, run." Su Jin was stunned. Dead just like that? A peak-level martial artist, dead before he could even reach the Su family's gates. He looked toward the Su family compound, his eyes filled with excitement and envy. Aristocratic family. This is the aristocratic family heritage that my Su family longs for. Suddenly, a long arrow flew in, passing through his eyes like lightning, and then he was sent flying backwards, along with 8 other people. It turned out that Su Mingwei had fired 9 arrows at once. His archery skills were extraordinary. Each arrow hit each person's throat accurately, without a single error. Then, Su Mingwei's eagle eyes were like lightning, taking in all the thieves. As soon as he glanced, he had already calculated several killing paths in his mind. Swish, 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 the sky was full of arrows. Each one could take the lives of several people. In the blink of an eye, more than 150 arrows had been fired. At the beginning, the crowd was dense, which saved him a lot of effort, but later, each arrow could only take out one person. In less than 100 breaths, everyone was killed by the arrows. A dozen of you go and retrieve all the arrows. Yes, young master, in just a split second, hundreds of men have already been annihilated. The servants were horrified by the sight, their heads bowed and fists clasped. Their eyes were filled with godlike awe, and even their breathing slowed. The third round of PK begins next Monday and Tuesday. Fellow Daoists, please lend a hand. Remember to read along these 2 days. I'll add another chapter on Monday and Tuesday to thank you all for your support. Chapter 54, No Love Under Natural Disasters. Orchard. Su Chuan watched silently from the shadows, showing no intention of intervening. Perhaps I overestimated the danger this time. Not a single person died, Su Chuan pondered, then shook his head and laughed. Not entirely. If my Su family hadn't been prepared, the Su family mansion wouldn't have been in danger, but many guards would have died, and the orchards and farmlands would have suffered heavy losses. On second thought, he felt the ominous omens were largely correct. He had expected several peak-level cultivators, but he saw none. I wonder what's happening in the other areas. Seeing only a handful of people left, Su Chuan suddenly stepped forward and shouted, "Stop, father, head of the family." Su Mingyan and Su Mingxin approached Su Chuan, and the other guards bowed. "Where's your lair? Lead us there." Yes, we'll take you there immediately." Seeing a chance of survival, the last 2 immediately knelt and kowtowed, leading Su Chuan and his men. They left shortly thereafter. The sieges in other areas also ceased, marking a resounding victory. Over half an hour later, they arrived at a large mansion in Huangxi village, 50 or 60 miles east of Dongxi village. Piles of grain, fruits, vegetables, and game lay piled high in the corners of the hall. "Master Su, in consideration of our cooperation, please spare our lives. We were also captured by those bandits. They are powerful, and we had no choice but to obey their orders." The 2 men kowtowed, humbled to the ground. Under natural disasters, there is no loyalty. Anyone who offends the Su family shall die. As soon as the words left their mouths, a flash of silver light flashed. A sword splattered with the blood. 2 bloody flowers bloomed. "Take everything back." "Yes, master." The guards remained indifferent, their eyes devoid of any pity. If they hadn't been at the Su family, they might have been a pile of bones on the roadside during this drought, or perhaps one of these bandits. Natural disasters are merciless, and all they could do was protect themselves. As for those who infringe upon their interests, they would fight to the death even without Su Chuan's order. The guards found a few carts from somewhere, loaded them all, and returned to the Su family. The Su family guards stayed up almost all night. While carrying and disposing of the corpses, they found a lot of silver from the robbers, which amounted to more than 10,000 taels in total. No one dared to keep it privately, and all was handed over. Among them were several internal energy secrets and some blood and key pills. Amazing skills of taming beasts. Su Mingwei flipped through it and found it quite interesting. Zuji would probably like it. Not long after, Su Mingxi returned riding a white tiger and wanted to take credit from Su Chuan, but was told that Su Chuan was not there. "Zuji, take a look at this." Su Mingxi glanced at it casually. "These were records of the habits of so many ferocious beasts are quite interesting. Big brother, let me look at them for a few days and I'll return them to you. Here you go. You're probably the only one in the Su family who might need them." "Thank you, big brother. I'm a little sleepy, so I'll go back to sleep." "Okay." Su Mingwei nodded slightly. Soon, Su Mingxin returned, followed by Su Chuan, Su Mingyan, and Su Mingxin. Su Mingyan accompanied Su Mingwei in processing and registering the stolen goods. The others went back to sleep. The next day, The Su family patrol team resumed their 3-shift work schedule. All the guards received a month's salary as a reward. None of them complained. They could see that the young masters and Miss Zhuji had contributed the most, and they were just supporting roles. They were willing to follow such a powerful master even without the reward. Su Mingwei showed the registered book to Su Chuan. Su Chuan glanced casually, finding nothing particularly remarkable, so he simply asked about the amazing beast taming techniques. Hearing that Su Mingshu had borrowed it, he stopped asking. This harvest, combined with our existing grain reserves, should be enough for our Su family to sustain us for another year or two. Su Chuan replied casually. After a moment's thought, he added, it's been over 6 months since the drought first appeared. I estimate it'll be over in a month or two at most. Will it rain? Su Chuan shook his head. I'm not sure, but the Great Wei dynasty won't sit idly by, otherwise, a large number of victims would flood the county capital. Those aristocratic families in the county capital, considering their own interests, will surely work together and have the court dispatch immortal officials to resolve the situation. Droughts are more devastating than floods. Floods can be diverted by reclaiming rivers, but droughts will inevitably wipe out all life, leaving thousands of people starving. Upon hearing this, Su Mingwei and Su Mingyun both agreed. Water is the source of life, the root of all things. Without water, no living thing can survive. Even if they fled, if a drought spread over 1,000 miles, where could they escape to? They'd probably just starve to death along the way. But father, the nearby water sources are almost dry, Su Mingwei said. The fruits and vegetables in the farmlands and forests have all been harvested. If things get really tough, we can temporarily stop the water supply to the medicinal fields. With gauze covering them, they can barely survive by collecting autumn dew at night. That's even more unnecessary in the forests, and find someone to dig a deep well at Bihun Pond. The water level hasn't dropped at all, suggesting there must be a water vein underground. With luck, we'll be able to find it. The water from Bihun Pond can also be used. Ordinary people would freeze to death if they touched it, but a top-tier warrior could still transport it down. After leaving it for a day and a night, it can be boiled and used normally. Yes, father, both the men were deeply impressed by Su Chuan's wisdom. After experiencing this drought, Su Chuan had gained a deeper understanding of the Great Wei dynasty. They didn't care much about the management of the counties. As long as the foundation of the dynasty wasn't shaken, it was fine. Otherwise, how could there be no one to address the drought that lasted for months? Requests for assistance from various counties had likely already arrived at Yuhu County like snowflakes. Yuhu County suppressed these reports, most likely because they didn't threaten the county's rule or interests. Simply put, while county officials hold a strong deterrent over the common people, they hold little power over the aristocratic families. Immortals and martial arts are one, and martial arts are just for show. The Wei royal family is undoubtedly rooted in immortality, and the imperial official system is merely a convenience for local administration, Su Chuan sighed. Therefore, for the Su family, whether or not anyone holds an official position is of little importance. If the opportunity arises, it would be no problem for a Su family disciple to hold an official position, potentially benefiting the family. If not, there wouldn't be much loss. As long as the Su family has sufficient financial resources, the local authorities won't be easily able to disrupt them. Qianyuan County. All the aristocratic families are facing a difficult time. Their own deep wells have all but dried up, and they're searching for water everywhere. At the county government office, Magistrate Wu and Lieutenant Fang both have worried expressions. No, we can't. People are starting to die in the county. If this panic continues, I'm afraid the many aristocratic families and wealthy merchants will rebel. If things get out of hand, we'll both be killed. Brother Fang, let's go to the surrounding counties tomorrow and invite our colleagues to go to the county capital for help. Okay, that's it. County Lieutenant Fang gritted his teeth and said, if this continues, even if the aristocratic families don't rebel, we will. There are many immortal cultivators in the county capital who can cast spells and bring rain, but there are few cultivators in the major counties. The bigwigs in the county capital are making life difficult for us, so we must make it difficult for them too. What a ruthless person. County Magistrate Wu looked across at County Lieutenant Fang, thinking to himself. The third round of PK will begin next Monday and Tuesday. Fellow Daoists, please lend a hand. Remember to read these 2 days. I'll add another chapter on Monday and Tuesday to thank you for your sincere support. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, It means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55, County City Takes Action, Big Deal. Husband, given the current situation, I'm afraid Yuan won't be able to get engaged to the Wu family, right? Bai Jing came to the courtyard and looked at Chuan, who was sitting cross-legged on a cushion, breathing in and out. It's indeed not suitable. Let's get married next year. Chuan pondered for a moment, then said, let Shitao go to the Wu family in the county town on my behalf to show my sincerity. Well, that's it. Bai Jing seemed unwilling and grumbled again, this is God's fault. A good engagement banquet is gone just like that. I hope Yuan won't mind. As a mother, don't you understand his character? Chuan smiled faintly. The drought is severe now. People are dying in more than a dozen nearby counties. In such a situation, you are not afraid of being criticized. Husband, you have a point, Bai Jing thought carefully. If the Su family held a grand wedding in such a harsh environment, it would probably attract countless people to Dongxi. I'll go inform Shitao right away. Bai Jing went to Nanshan courtyard and informed him of the situation. Su Mingwei didn't hesitate for a moment, and a moment later, he set off for the county town. Not far from the county town stood a refugee camp, adjacent to river. However, the river had dried up in many places, and available water sources were dwindling. Passing by, Su Mingwei saw a hunchbacked farmer scraping elm bark and an elderly woman with a chicken-skinned face, searching for edible wild vegetables with a basket. Everywhere, haggard faces appeared, like the Walking Dead. Fortunately, the hottest days were over. It was October, a time of decline. While edible food in the wild was dwindling, at least it didn't have to endure the scorching sun, where it would suddenly fade and become a shriveled skeleton by the roadside, unattended. It was rare for the Su family to cultivate fruit trees and vegetables that could grow both in autumn and winter. Qianyuan County was under martial law, preventing a large influx of refugees. Consequently, identity checks were rigorous. Who is it? Su Mingwei, from the Su family, so it's young Master Su. Please come in. After he announced his identity, the yeoman runners at the city gate naturally dared not stop him. When he arrived at the Wu family, he told them that the engagement was cancelled. The Wu family agreed and didn't say anything else. Although the Wu family didn't know the Su family's situation, they had already suffered a great loss and had no intention of holding an engagement banquet. If the drought continued into next year, it was estimated that even their marriage would have to be postponed or even cancelled outright. After receiving the confirmation from the Wu family, Su Mingwei set off to return to Dongxi. 7 or 8 days later. Yuhu County, County Magistrate's Mansion. The County Magistrate, County Secretary, County Commandant, Chief Clerk, Gongkeo and other officials in high positions all gathered here. It seems the major counties are truly on the verge of collapse. They're all rushing to our side. Let's discuss how to resolve this. A 60-year-old man with ring temples spoke calmly. His eyes were clear, his spirit vigorous, without the slightest hint of the cloudiness expected of a man of his age. This was simply because he was a grandmaster martial artist. Furthermore, he was from the Chang family, holding a high position within the clan. For a grandmaster, a lifespan of 120 puts him at the peak of his powers. Everyone fell silent upon hearing this. County Magistrate Chang turned to look at a young, muscular man, Yang Zhao. Lieutenant Yang, among us, you are the best at governance. The plan for managing refugees proposed many years ago is also effective. You can tell us about it first. Yang Zhao nodded slightly and said, drought is a natural phenomenon and is beyond human control. We should ask the court for help and send immortal officials to the many disaster-stricken areas to bring down sweet rain. In addition, we wrote a letter proposing to add immortal official positions in each county. If immortal officials cast spells to bring down sweet rain at the beginning of the drought, at least the people will not be left with nothing, become refugees, or even starve to death on the roadside. In addition, the position of immortal officials can also supervise the military officers in each county to ensure that government orders are implemented. The chief clerk of the county raised his eyebrows, frowned slightly and said, isn't that the same as the system structure of the county? There is still a difference. Yang Zhao talked freely. Just like this drought, the people's livelihood in the counties of Yuhu County is destitute, but the edict to recruit soldiers has been issued not long ago. In the past, All counties had to send a large number of common people to the army. As for the wealthy merchant families, they would use silver to buy off their own enlistment quotas. But now there is a great disaster, and every village is almost empty. How can we gather enough people? The purpose of adding immortal officials is to ensure that government orders are passed when necessary. If we really drag some people into the battlefield at will and cause the war to fail, I am afraid we will also be held accountable. Yang Zhao's thoughts and ideas were very detailed and comprehensive, which made people's eyes open and also thought-provoking. I agree with Yang Junhui's proposal, the county magistrate said lightly. He was Yang Zhao's uncle, so he naturally supported his family. That's it. During this conscription, every family and clan with 2 or more males must enlist, with no upper limit as long as they are willing. For each additional male, you will receive 20 dao of rice and 2 taels of silver to support your family. We must gather the required number of soldiers within 3 months. Hans Hubu, you can immediately draft a document ordering all county officials to return to the county capital and complete the conscription as soon as possible. As for the drought and water shortage, you will explain it to them and wait for the immortal officials to arrive, and they will resolve the problem. Yes, Your Excellency. Half a month later, immortal officials emerged from the various key cultivating families and traveled to the various counties of the Great Wei Empire. Due to insufficient numbers, they were recruiting independent key cultivating cultivators. They were also ordered to test the immortal cultivation aptitude of children in each county to supplement the immortal officials. Normally, each county should have 3 immortal officials, but having 1 was already a plus, so they would have to recruit later or train locally. The immortal officials used magic or talismans to bring down rain. The areas without drought were quite relaxed. But the counties in Yuhu Commandery were very busy. Fortunately, the situation was relieved a little. Upon hearing the news, the victims returned to their respective villages. However, the drought had lasted for more than half a year, with starving people strewn all over the fields, and every village was empty. Even if there were refugees returning home, there were only 7 or 8 families gathered in the broken walls, and at most only 20 or 30 families living in the ruins. Looking around, there were only weeds covering the paths and a few smokes from cooking fires. The land that once grew mulberry and hemp has now become a wasteland where foxes and rabbits roam. Dongxi Village, Su Family. Wengxin Courtyard, Study. Su Chuan's eyes were deep, and when he saw Su Mingyan coming in, he raised his head and looked over. Father, you're looking for me. Su Chuan smiled faintly and got straight to the point. Qianyuan, there are a lot of unowned farmland and forests right now. You need to mobilize 100,000 taels and, with Dongxi Village as your base, go to each village to purchase rice fields, farmland, and forests. In today's world, the government's price for land purchases is certainly not high. We will send someone to buy from anyone willing to sell their land. You can bring the farmers who sell their land into the Su family and have them manage our various fields. 100,000 taels. Su Mingyan was startled by Su Chuan's generosity, his expression slightly stunned, but then he was impressed by his boldness. After all, he was in charge of many of the Su family's businesses and knew their wealth better than anyone else. This amount was already nearly a third of the Su family's cash. Father, even though the immortal officials have arrived, the drought hasn't ended yet. Farmland and forests are as cheap as dirt. With such a large investment, the amount of farmland and forest we could buy would be enormous. Can our Su family afford it all? Su Chuan understood Su Mingyan's point. He wasn't worried about the Su family being unable to afford it, but rather about the difficulty of managing it. If they bought it but couldn't fully utilize it, it would be better to take it slow. After all, the Su family had already acquired a large amount of farmland. That's why my father said that all the returning villagers from the surrounding areas should be taken into our Su family, and together with this Dongxi Creek, we should make it our private land. By the way, the mountains and forests where the saltpeter mine is located should also be included in it. After a major disaster, the government will certainly have disaster relief measures, and I think they would like to see the silver. Su Mingyan no longer had any doubts, and an idea suddenly appeared in his mind. Part of the grain obtained from the robbers can be sold. After all, the price of grain is still high at this time, and the other part can be used for brewing wine, etc. The major industries in the county also need to reopen, sell the various commodities they have accumulated, and recover a batch of silver. That's right. Su Chuan looked at Su Mingyan approvingly. Seeing the light in his eyes, he knew that he must have many ways to make money in his mind. Awen, You no longer need my father's constant reminders. What do you mean by that, father? Chuan looked out the window and saw the withered yellow leaves being blown down by the autumn wind. After a moment, he said, next year, after you get married, father plans to step down as head of the family and let your eldest brother take over, and you will be fully responsible for the Su family's finances. The head of the family is the authority of the family and the deterrent of our Su family's external military power. He must focus on martial arts and cannot hold multiple positions. Father also imagined that in the future, your eldest brother's lineage would be the direct descendant of the head of the family, your lineage would be in charge of the finances, and the other Tantao and others would also contribute to our Su family. However, things change, and even father cannot predict everything. Perhaps after 6 or 7 generations, there will be someone in your lineage or the Tantao lineage who is suitable for the position of head of the family. In short, the person with the strongest military power in the current era who can deter other clans, has good character and is a good manager can be the head of the family, and whoever is the most virtuous in business will be in charge of the family finances. Su Mingyan pondered this. His generation, including his brothers and sisters, all revered Su Mingwei. He was the only candidate there recognized as the head of the family. Awen deeply agrees with father's idea. If a noble family wants to continue to rise, it must choose the wise and use them, and must not stick to the so-called eldest son. The authority of the head of the family is supreme. If the person in office is not talented enough, makes all kinds of wrong decisions, and is stubborn, it may cause the family's strength to decline rapidly. As far as I know, many noble families in Qingjiang have weakened in this way, and eventually died out due to the division and dispersion of the family. Chuan nodded slightly and said, with your talent, Awen, even if your elder brother was not here, you can also be the head of my Su family. Su Mingyan waved his hands repeatedly. In my mind, my elder brother is the best candidate for our generation. I believe Tantao, Zuji and others think so too. Of course, if father, you are willing to continue to be the head of the family, we will definitely praise you with both hands. After all, father, you are only in your early 40s, and you have entered the innate realm of martial arts. You are in your prime, and you really shouldn't retire so early. This is also what Su Mingyan was puzzled about. Want to know? Then father will explain clearly today. A family's hidden cards cannot be revealed to the public. Su Mingyan nodded slightly. Chuan smiled and continued, in the eyes of the Qingjiang families, your eldest brother is a master-level talent, a renowned martial arts genius. He will undoubtedly be the future heir of the Su family. Father's resignation is a natural progression in their eyes, and none of the families have the slightest doubt. Su Mingyan pondered, so, father, your resignation will inevitably become a crucial trump card for the Su family, not only me, but also Tantao, Zuji, and Yunyu. Under the guidance of Yuan Shitao, they will also grow into the Su family's hidden cards. After all, the two of you alone are enough to build a powerful family for 3 or 4 generations. At this moment, Su Mingyan finally understood. Chuan's actions were a response to an unknown crisis. His focus had likely long since shifted from the Qingjiang families to the various families in the county, and even to the legendary Immortal cultivation families. Father, I'm afraid there's no end to what I can learn from you, Yuan. Su Mingyan let a wry smile play on his face. He truly felt that Chuan's vision and foresight were unmatched. You're exaggerating. Chuan was flattered by the flattery. Okay, let's get back to the point, Yuan. Remember, even a great disaster can be a great opportunity. Now is the time for our Su family to make a lasting effort and reach new heights. As long as it's not illegal, do it boldly. I understand. The next day, Su Mingyan, accompanied by a number of servants, visited the surrounding villages to survey the land. A few days later, he went to the county government office to discuss the matter with Magistrate Wu. Seeing the Su family's plan to purchase such vast tracts of land and forest, connected by Dongxi River, Magistrate Wu knew their ambitions were significant. However, the Su family had committed no illegal acts. Moreover, the county government truly needed such a large amount of silver reserves, whether for comforting the victims or for conscription subsidies. He was still considering how to raise the funds. The county government would certainly not take care of these matters, the local authorities would have to handle them themselves. Never mind. I imagine it would take the Su family several years to manage such vast tracts of land and forest. After a moment's deliberation, County Magistrate Wu agreed to the land and forest deal with the Su family. After acquiring the land and forest, Su Mingyan immediately ordered his men to begin clearing it so that they could plant medicinal herbs, flowers, fruits, and vegetables after the drought. Elsewhere, Su Chuan instructed Su Mingyi to mobilize manpower to dig small lakes near the rice paddies and farmland. If successful, these lakes would provide water exclusively for the Su family's rice paddies and farmland. Even if a similar drought struck again, they would be able to sustain them for a year. This was a massive undertaking, requiring a significant number of people. Those without livelihoods nearby, upon hearing that the Su family would provide food and drink, immediately opted to become temporary workers. Thousands of strong men lined up like a wall, their shovels shoveling through the earth, obscuring the sky. The sound of shouts emanated from the lakeside, reaching the clouds. Thousands of arms rose and fell like waves, their shovel tips breaking the earth like thunder rumbling through the abyss. In a flash, a deep trench stretched across the landscape, leaving the elderly men on both sides stroking their beards in amazement. 1,000 men digging like moving a mountain. Such a commotion. I'm afraid it must have been the same when the Wei dynasty dug the Grand Canal. In just 7 or 8 days, the small lake was a quarter full. Su Mingyan was clearing the forests, and daily, vast quantities of trees were felled and made into various types of furniture, which were then sent to Qianyuan County for sale, or sold cheaply to returning refugees. Today's divination, medium to upper. Immortal officials will arrive in Dongxi village at the hour of Chen to bring rain. Su Chuan had risen early to practice, and upon seeing the divinatory message, a faint smile played on his face. In recent days, news had been circulating of immortal officials casting spells to bring down a sweet rain. Now, at last, they had arrived in Dongxi village. I have had a bad cold, sore throat and dizziness these past 2 days. Please don't blame me, fellow Taoists. There will be an additional update at 6 p.m. Fellow Taoists, don't forget, I hope you can help me in the PK over the next 2 days. Chapter 56, Immortal Official Xiao Changyan. The counties of Yuhu County were the hardest hit by the drought. Therefore, 3 immortal officials were dispatched to each county. Once the matter was resolved, one would remain in each county, while the others would proceed to the county capitals of other counties. Xiao Changyan was one of the 3, hailing from the Xiao family in Longjiang County. He stood beside the small lake excavated by the Su family, staring blankly. Isn't that going to be filled in too? The immortal official's primary purpose in visiting the counties of Yuhu County was to cast spells to bring rain and replenish the water supply. They were equally powerless to deal with the withered crops and fruit trees. After all, while immortal cultivators may possess immense powers, they are not omnipotent. Sun Fuge, the supervisor overseeing the excavation of the lake, suddenly spotted a strange young man standing on the embankment. He wore a brocade robe and jade belt, his face was as handsome as jade, and his brows held a noble air. He quickly thrust a whip into his waist, brushed off the dust on his clothes, and stepped forward with a smile. Where are you from, sir? I'm Sun Fuge, the manager of this lake excavation. I wonder what you're here for. Xiao Changyan looked puzzled. There's a severe drought now, and water is scarce. Why are you digging a lake? Are you hoping to find underground water? Sun Fuge smiled and said, if we can find it, it's God's blessing. If not, it's okay. As for the purpose of this, I don't know. This is the order of my master. Who is your master? How can you have such appeal to so many people? Who wouldn't want to come if they can have enough food? Sun Fuge squinted his eyes and laughed. Xiao Changyan's heart moved slightly when he heard this, and his fingertips unconsciously stroked the jade pendant at his waist. In this year of severe drought, rice is as valuable as pearls and jade. Ordinary families can barely afford even bran, yet these 1,000+ laborers manage to get 3 meals a day. This represents a colossal expense. How could such a family exist in the countryside of Qianyuan County? The master's surname is Su. The young master is obviously from out of town. Almost no one in Qianyuan County knows the Su family. My eldest son, a man of extraordinary talent, is a true master. He was already a master at just 20. This matter was already well known in Qianyuan, so Sun Fuge dared to speak of it. If the Su family had issued an order, anyone who spoke out would be killed, and those involved would be expelled from the Su family. A master? For such a remote place to produce such a martial arts prodigy, it would have taken hundreds of years of this region's martial arts fortune to produce one. Could you take me to meet him? Xiao Changyan looked both distinguished and impressive, yet lacking the bad temper of the young masters of the Qianyuan family. prompting Sun Fuga to take a closer look. He nodded slightly, and Sun Fuga took him to the Su residence. Upon hearing the servant's report, Chuan suspected that the immortal official had arrived. He immediately went out to greet him, and upon seeing the visitor, he invited him into the hall and engaged him in a warm conversation. "My name is Chuan, and I am the patriarch of the Su family. May I ask what your name is, sir?" "My surname is Zhao Changyin." Young Master Zhao has an extraordinary bearing. And it's clear at first glance that he's no ordinary man. "I'm sure you're from the county seat, right?" Master Su has a sharp gaze. "And I'm from the county seat of Longjiang County," Zhao Changyin said calmly, neither humble nor arrogant. "I've heard a little bit about it. Longjiang County is richer and more powerful than Maiyuhu County. The Heilongjiang River winds for thousands of miles, with the water flowing sometimes fast and sometimes slow. There are many strange peaks on both sides, and it is well known far and wide." "Oh, I never thought that Master Su's knowledge is so broad. My Longjiang County is several counties away from Yuhu County. I've heard a little bit about it." Chuan smiled slightly, staring into Zhao Changyin's eyes, and after a while said, "More than half a month ago, my Qingjian County government issued an announcement that the Great Way will send immortal masters to garrison the county to prevent natural disasters." Zhao Changyin raised the corners of his mouth slightly, as if this question had been expected by him. "It seems that Patriarch Su has guessed Zhao's identity. I am one of the immortal officials who came to Qingjiang this time. There are 2 others, but they are only staying here temporarily. After the drought is over, they will leave and take up their posts. Then isn't immortal official Zhao the only immortal official in Qingjiang County?" Chuan immediately clasped his fists and said respectfully, "I'm sorry for being disrespectful. Please don't blame me, immortal official Zhao." Zhao Changyin smiled faintly and waved his hand. "Master Su, although I am an immortal official, I do not care for officialdom. We cultivators should wholeheartedly pursue the Great Dao, but this place is after all under the jurisdiction of the Great Way, and we have no choice but to obey its orders. Then why not leave the Great Way?" Zhao Changyin shook his head and laughed. "It's not that easy. We cultivators are in the territory of the Great Way and are also protected by the Great Way. Leaving the Great Way would be difficult, not to mention the various difficulties. The lack of resources is enough to discourage us. Fighting against people and fighting monsters every day is not as good as settling in a corner and slowly planning our future. Of course, the price is to obey the orders of the Great Way. As long as the orders are not suicidal, our families will basically comply. The exception is independent cultivators. They are free to come and go, and no matter where they go, they are independent cultivators, unconstrained. The only thing that drives them is profit. I heard that the Great Way is expanding its recruitment of immortal officials, and many independent cultivators join because of their monthly salary of spirit stones." Chuan clasped his fists again and said solemnly, "Zhao Zhangyan has solved a big confusion for me." Zhao Changyin nodded slightly, thinking of the lake before, and said, "By the way, Master Su, although the immortal officials like me have followed the call of the Great Way to bring rain and replenish the water supply, I am really powerless to do anything about the lake that your Su family has dug, haha." "Of course," Chuan smiled and said, "Su ordered the digging of the lake, but after experiencing this drought, I am still worried and want to prevent a worse drought in the future. Master Su is far-sighted. Although this lake has not been completely dug, Zhao sees its size. If it is fully filled in the future, even if there is another drought like this, there will be no shortage of water." Just as Zhao Zhangyan said, Chuan said, "As for the filling, the laws of nature have their own laws. It is impossible for God to not rain forever. This lake will be filled one day, the laws of nature." Zhao Changyin raised his eyebrows, a look of surprise on his face, then praised, "Master Su's insight is truly remarkable." A moment later, "Thank you, Master Su, for your hospitality. It's time for me to go and perform my duties. After resolving the water supply issue for your Dongxi village today, I must proceed to other villages." Seeing Zhao Changyin rise, Chuan also stood up, clasping his fists and saying, "Zhao Zhangyan, I've always been curious about immortal cultivation. Would you mind if I could observe you perform a spell?" "Yes." Zhao Changyin was taken aback for a moment, but then amusement welled up in his heart. Indeed, how many mortals aren't curious about immortal cultivation and spell casting? It's only when I meet someone as easygoing and insightful as you. Any other casual cultivator wouldn't agree. Zhao Changyin had a good impression of Chuan. He would be stationed in Qianyuan County for a long time, and the Su family was well off, so he was likely to have to deal with them. After all, once he left the Xiao family and took up his position as an immortal official, the Xiao family would be unlikely to provide much assistance. Moreover, the two places were thousands of miles apart, making it impossible to reach them. Xiao Chang'an arrived at a dry pond, as dry as a turtle's back. He formed a seal with his right hand, and the magical energy within him flowed through it. Suddenly, a beam of green light shot up into the sky. A moment later, dark clouds gathered over the pond, and a moment later, bean-sized raindrops fell from the clouds. The clouds were limited, extending only to the edge of the pond. Suddenly, the ground of the pond became moist, and then gradually, water accumulated, and the water level began to rise slowly. I'll be watching the PK over the next 2 days. Please follow along. Chapter 57, Recruiting. After an incense stick, the amount of water gradually decreased until no more raindrops fell, and the dark clouds instantly dissipated. Watching him cast the spell, Chuan felt it was just as he'd imagined. Looks like I'll need to do it again to fill this pond, but then Xiao Chang'an slapped the storage bag at his waist, and a pale blue talisman flew out, floating before him. He clenched his sword finger, channeling his magical power, and then pointed through the air. Instantly, the pale blue talisman soared above the pond with a whoosh. A burst of pale blue light erupted, and dark clouds and rain reappeared. This rainfall spell is more suitable for cultivation, not for replenishing water sources. Chuan immediately understood its primary purpose. Replenishing water sources is a waste of resources. By controlling the amount and range of the rainfall, it could easily meet the rainfall needs of a whole orchard of vegetables and fruits. Xiao Chang'an finished replenishing the pond and prepared to move on to the next location. Chuan remained by his side. By the way, Immortal Officer Xiao, how do you cultivators test whether a person has the qualifications to cultivate immortality? Xiao Chang'an turned to look at him in surprise, then smiled and said, those with great magical powers can find out whether a person has the qualifications to cultivate immortality with just a sweep of their spiritual sense. We can also find clues by using our magic power to carefully examine the whole body at close range, but this can only roughly confirm his qualifications. As for the specific qualifications, it requires a special testing crystal to test it. Master Su, Qianyuan County will soon establish an Immortal office, which will be responsible for testing whether people in Qianyuan County have the qualifications to cultivate immortality. Although it is not free, it will certainly not be a big deal for your Su family. You can just let your clan members go there then. What if my Su family wants to have such a testing crystal ourselves? Does Immortal Officer Xiao have a way? Chuan said lightly. Xiao Chang'an instantly understood and exclaimed in surprise, so that's how it is. The Su family's head is truly ambitious, unlike any other small family in the county. While this is somewhat difficult, there are solutions. His eyes flickered, and he chuckled. I brought 3 test crystals with me to Qianyuan County this time. We can split them up, and after a decade or so, declare one of them ineffective, but doing so would be quite risky. Chuan remained silent, waiting for his next words. However, if the Su family is willing to pay 100,000 taels, I will transfer one of the test crystals to you. Immortal cultivators require resources even more than martial artists. The resources provided by the Xiao family for him to serve as an immortal official were already limited, requiring him to accumulate them through his own efforts. In short, he was being left alone. 100,000 taels was no small sum for a cultivator at the 3rd level of key training. He couldn't possibly pocket the entire testing fee, and even if he raised it, it couldn't be much. Too much would mean fewer people would take the test. And when more colleagues join the team, a portion of the profits will have to be shared. 100,000 taels. Chuan remained silent, his face etched with hesitation. The Su family had just spent 100,000 taels in cash to acquire vast tracts of farmland and forests, hiring thousands of people to dig a lake, a considerable expense. The drought hadn't completely subsided yet, and while the shops that had opened were already making a profit, it was nothing compared to their heyday. Numerous thoughts flashed through his mind. He made his decision almost instantly, remaining silent to give Xiao Chang'an the illusion that the drought was devastating even the aristocratic families. Xiao Chang'an had witnessed the Su family's massive undertaking, and now offered such a large sum. He doubted the family would be able to come up with it easily. Even if they did, it would undoubtedly be a painful loss. After a long pause, Chuan gritted his teeth and said with difficulty, If young Master Zio has it on you right now, I'll go get you 100,000 taels and trade with you. Haha, what a coincidence. I do have it on me. He slapped the gray bag at his waist, and a fist-sized crystal appeared in his palm. This is how you test a crystal. Just place your hand on it and count the breaths, and you'll see the result. Would you mind giving it a try? Of course. Fuge, come here. Chuan had Sun Fuge test it, but there was no reaction. Zio Changgaeun explained, the crystal will only react to you if someone possesses the aptitude to cultivate immortality. As he spoke, he placed his hand on it, and the crystal emitted a faint white light. The test crystal will emit a total of 5 kinds of light: gray, white, green, red, and purple, representing the 5 kinds of qualifications of immortal cultivators. Gray represents pseudo-spiritual roots. They can barely practice, but unless they have a huge amount of resources, there is no hope of entering the late stage of key training, and even the middle stage is difficult. White light represents mixed spiritual roots. They can cultivate to the late stage of key training, but there is no hope of foundation building. Green light represents true spiritual roots and there is hope of foundation building, but whether it can be achieved depends on opportunity. As for red light, it represents earth spiritual roots. If they rely on themselves, they have a greater chance of entering foundation building, and there is also a half chance of golden elixir. Purple light represents heavenly spiritual roots. They can enter foundation building without any bottlenecks, with a 20% to 30% chance of forming an elixir, and even hope of reaching a higher realm. Thank you, young Master Zio, for clearing up my doubts. Chuan bowed and asked, are there any examples of martial artists turning to immortality? Zio Changgaeun was silent for a moment, sighed. Of course there are, but it is not recommended because the efficiency is too low. Let me put it this way. Some of the top families possess techniques that can transform innate true ki into mana. However, even if a grandmaster achieves perfect transformation of their true ki, it can only be transformed into the mana of the 4th level of ki training, and the basic condition for this transformation is to achieve perfect innate ki, so that one can potentially become a 1st level ki training cultivator. Of course, all of this has a prerequisite, that is, the complete possession of all 5 elements and the aptitude for cultivation. Zio Changgaeun paused, chuckled, and looked at Chuan. Master Su. Think about it. A martial arts genius who began training at the age of 6, even if he achieved perfect innate ki at the age of 30, after the transformation, he would only be a 1st level ki training cultivator, and a genius in cultivation with true spiritual roots, who began cultivation at the same age, would probably be in the late ki training stage by the age of 30. What a huge difference! For cultivators, just like warriors, aging also affects their cultivation speed, but the impact is not as great as for warriors. In a head-to-head competition, a grandmaster who achieves perfect innate ki is roughly equivalent to the 9th level of ki training. While perfect innate ki is comparable to the 5th level of ki training, even a warrior at the early stage of the Xiantian realm is comparable to a cultivator at the 2nd level of ki training. So, what other grandmaster would be willing to abandon his cultivation and become a cultivator at the 4th level of ki training? Hearing young Master Zio's remarks today has truly broadened my horizons. Young Master Zio, please wait a moment. I'll go get the silver. Both parties were very satisfied with the transaction. After finishing his work in Dongxi village, Zio Changgaeun stayed at the Su family for one night, intending to visit other villages tomorrow. Chuan naturally welcomed him, treating him to delicious food and drinks. This Su family is truly a good family. They are strict with their subordinates, and their disciples are also strict with themselves. In decades or even centuries, they might be able to relocate to the county capital and develop their careers. As an immortal official, Zio Changgaeun would need to stay in Qianyuan County for a long time, until he reached at least the 5th level of ki training. Alone, the Zio family's assistance to him was limited. Therefore, he became even more determined to establish a good relationship with the Su family. The next day, Chuan saw Zio Changgaeun off. Returning to the hall, Su Mingwei, Su Mingyan, and the others were there. What's up? Chuan looked at them. Su Mingshu stepped forward, grinning. Father, I heard you bought a crystal stone for testing immortal cultivation aptitude. Zuji wants to test it. Chuan glanced at the others. With the exception of Su Mingwei, they were all curious about their own aptitude for cultivation. Don't worry about it, you guys. Wait until you reach the Xiantian stage. Focus on your martial arts training and don't get too greedy. Why? Isn't it just a test? Su Mingyan and the others looked disappointed. Su Chuan didn't answer. Instead, he looked at Su Mingwei and handed him the box containing the test crystal. I'll have someone check in a few days to see if anyone in our Su family possesses the aptitude for cultivation besides these few of them. If so, their family can become a vassal family, enjoying the same status as the Chen and Bai families, and they themselves can receive focused training from the Su family. Yes, father. Su Chuan then left the hall with his hands behind his back. Su Mingyan and the others gathered around Su Mingwei, peppering him with questions. Su Mingwei felt immense pressure, yet he dared not reveal anything. He could only sternly warn, this matter concerns the core secrets of the Su family. Only those who have reached the Xiantian realm can know. If you want to know, focus on martial arts. Whoever reaches the Xiantian realm, I will reveal the Su family's secrets to him. The Su family's secrets. This immediately piqued everyone's curiosity. Then I'm at a disadvantage. Su Mingyan scratched his head, feeling a little annoyed. He lacked Su Mingwei's talent, and with the family's development to contend with, it was uncertain whether he could ever reach the Xiantian realm. Brother, I'm going to practice, Su Mingxun said with a smile. Xiao Bei, let's go. Su Mingxu leaped onto the white tiger's back and also left the hall. Su Mingxun had vanished without a trace. These guys, Su Mingyan's frustration deepened. Su Mingwei watched helplessly, and at that moment, a voice reached his ears. Qianyuan, come to my study. Following Su Chuan's instructions, Su Mingwei revealed to Su Mingyan the Su family's secret of cultivating the Dao through martial arts. As the head of the family finances, he was one of the two most important people and therefore qualified to know. Among us, only Yu has the aptitude to cultivate immortality. Can the innate 5 elements creation technique replenish our imperfect spiritual roots, allowing us to attain the full complement of all 5 elements and embark on the path to immortality? Can aptitude for cultivating immortality be elevated to true spiritual roots? Su Mingyan's heart felt as if 1,000 thunderbolts had struck, his dark pupils reflecting disbelief and horror. Qianyuan, this secret must be kept secret. It must not be shared with anyone except those who know. Even a hint of it could bring disaster to our Su family. Until our family truly grows stronger, we must keep a low profile and refrain from displaying our strength in public. Yes, big brother. Su Mingyan, realizing the gravity of the matter, wore a solemn expression, yet a certain excitement welled up within him. That's cultivating immortality. Another half-month had passed. Thanks to the intervention of the Immortal officials, water shortages in Yuhu County were alleviated. However, this was only temporary. The drought continued, though milder than in previous months. However, soon after, each county issued an imperial decree for conscription. The decree explicitly stated that no money could be used as a substitute for military service. Every household with 2 males over 13 years old must enlist. Furthermore, for each additional male, the household would receive a subsidy of 20 dao of rice and 3 taels of silver. Clearly, this provision was aimed at the common people. Many wealthy merchants from Qianyuan County descended on the county government, seeking clarification and seeking circumvention. However, Magistrate Wu stated that there was no room for negotiation. The Immortal office would be responsible for monitoring the situation. If any official was found to have embezzled money, the Immortal officials would have the power to arrest him and strip him of his official status. The Su family soon learned of this news. The Su family hall. Father, what should our family do about the conscription? It's so strict this time, it seems we can't escape it. Su Mingyan's face was heavy. And according to the information I've received, this war is no small matter, a life or death struggle. Father is the head of the family, he can't risk it lightly. This family can't go without anyone, but father, Su Mingwei said righteously, I'm the eldest, and my brothers and sisters are young. So it's natural for me to go. Bai Jing heard this, tears welling in her eyes. She couldn't bear to see any of her children go to the battlefield. Yang Ronghua embraced Su Dezhao, equally filled with reluctance, softly calling out, husband, brother, you're the heir to the Su family. If anything happens to you, who do you want father to hand over the position of head of the family to? I believe you, second brother, can lead the Su family well, too. Their eyes met, and Su Mingyan shook his head. I can't do it. Without your martial prowess, I can't intimidate the other families. I'll even become their prey, a target everyone wants to take a piece of. His face was filled with determination. So, I'll go. I'm a second-rate warrior now, brother, I'm also a second-rate warrior, even better than you in combat. Besides, I'm not like you, the one who's in charge of such a vast family business. This family can't do without you, so I'm the most suitable person to go. I'll go, Su Mingshu said. With Xiao Bei here, we can fight and run, right? Xiao Bei, roar, Bei who echoed as usual, unsure of what Su Mingshu meant by going to the battlefield. I'll go, Su Mingsun said calmly, his face expressionless. Bai Jing looked at them, feeling both relieved and distressed. None of the children shirked their responsibilities, and not a single one mentioned sending Chuan to the battlefield. A drought isn't enough, and now they're sending people to war. What kind of world is this? Bai Jing was heartbroken, lowering her head and wiping away her tears. The 5 siblings argued endlessly, each vying to go. Enough, Chuan suddenly spoke. Su Mingwei and the other 4 looked at Chuan, seated at the head of the family. His face was calm, emotionless. Zuji, you knew, the decree clearly states that men must be 13 or older. Why are you two trying to join in the fun? Shi Tao, Yuan, you have your own responsibilities. Do you really want me to take on the responsibilities you're already handling? They both lowered their heads in shame. I told you I'm the best fit, Su Mingsun grinned. Tan Tao, third brother, the others' faces were as solemn as steel. After all, fighting on the battlefield is a life or death struggle. This separation could be a farewell forever. Su Chuan stared at Su Mingsun, the scene of his birth replaying in his mind. Tan Tao, do you blame father? Never. Yes, Su Chuan nodded with relief. I have only 2 words for you, always trust your instincts. And, come back alive to see father. Yes, father. Then, Su Chuan added, I estimate there are many more members of our Su family who will go, including Daniu, Li Zhi, Bai Wei, and others. Shi Tao, you'll be in charge of the count. No one in our Su family will be allowed to desert. Anyone who violates this will be expelled from the Su family. The days passed. Recruiting officials arrived in Dongxi village, and Su Mingsun, Li Zhi, Chen Daniu, Bai Wei, and others signed up. The day after the annual sacrifice, all the young men, and middle-aged men who were drafted gathered outside the south gate of Qianyuan County and were led by military personnel to the border with Dalian. Countless parents and children came to see them off, crying and shouting. I'm looking for follow-up reading, votes, recommendations, and investments on Tuesday. Please give me some. Although my dizziness and headache have improved, I still need good medicine to cheer me up. There will be another chapter at 6 p.m. Chapter 58. It rained for 10 consecutive days. Don't push yourself too hard. Remember to keep a low profile. Don't show all your strength in front of others. Trust your instincts. Come back alive to see me, your mother, and your brothers and sisters. Su Chuan placed a hand on his shoulder. The scene made him nag a little. Bai Jing stepped forward and grasped Su Mingsun's hand, tears welling in her eyes. She said, right back often. Remember to save your life. Learn from your father and be patient when necessary and low-key when necessary. Third brother, come back alive, Su Mingshu and Su Mingsun said in unison, their eyes filled with reluctance. Tan Tao, come back alive, Su Mingwei and Su Mingyun also stared at Su Mingsun, their eyes filled with reluctance. Su Mingsun nodded heavily, tears welling up in his eyes. He wiped them and grinned. I didn't want to cry at first, because it was unlucky, but now that you've said that, I can't help it. He paused, then continued, big brother, second brother, the Su family is in your hands. Oh, and second brother, I hope I can see my nephew or niece when I return. I'll definitely let you hold them when you come back, Su Mingyan said. Zuji, Yunyu, practice hard. I hope you'll all be innate warriors by the time I return. Father, mother, take care of yourselves. Scenes of farewell unfolded in every corner of the city gates. Only when the army's horns sounded, signaling the march, did everyone return home. Did you all hear that? Su Chuan watched the troops recede and said calmly, when Tantao returns, we'll show him a new, powerful Su family. Got it, father. Years passed, and there was no telling when he'd return. Yet, the Su family continued to function normally. 1 month later, the small lake project in Dongxi village was completed. No one with a potential to cultivate immortality was found within the Su family, so the test crystals were temporarily sealed, though those being tested were unaware of the purpose. They simply followed their master's orders. 2 more days passed. February 2nd, the dragon raises its head. Today's divination, auspicious. Today, at 5 p.m., A sweet rain will fall. It's finally raining. After a whole year, this spring rain is truly worth more than gold. The downpour, as expected, fell from the sky. It's raining. God has sent it. We can survive. From the countryside to the county town, countless people emerged from their homes, singing and dancing in the rain, celebrating loudly. The cheers stretched for miles. For the next few days, heavy rain continued intermittently, lasting at least 6 or 7 hours daily. It was as if the heavens were returning all the water that had evaporated to the land of Yuhu County. Chuan ordered people to prepare for flooding, diverting water from farmland and orchards to prevent flooding. The water in the small lake continued to rise. 10 days later, the rain finally stopped. After the severe drought, most fields and forests were bare of crops, so no further losses were expected. The Su family's timely drainage efforts also resulted in no damage. As for the subsequent treatment of the flooded fields, it would only take a short time and wouldn't affect the upcoming farming season. Chuan began having Su Mingwei collect large quantities of translucent white cloth to experiment with the greenhouse cultivation, increasing rice yields and enabling a dual-season cropping system. The Su family now owned all the rice paddies east of Dongxi village, a continuous stretch encompassing 70%. The remaining 30% to the west belonged to the common people. This was only temporary. Perhaps soon, the entirety of Dongxi would be under the Su family's control. The Su family also owned vast tracts of rice paddies and farmland in nearby villages. For convenience, they purchased these tracts in large, continuous plots. The total area of rice paddies, farmland, and forests amounted to tens of thousands of acres. The Su family had previously taken in many returning refugees, and many of the land they had chosen for the subsequent small lake project was retained by the Su family. Therefore, they were not short of manpower. As the saying goes, a man's reputation leaves a shadow. The Su family enjoyed widespread acclaim and had survived the drought, earning them the admiration of many common people. However, the Su family didn't accept just anyone. They accepted those skilled in farming, those skilled in business management, those with martial arts skills, and those with specialized skills. Each candidate was also subject to a character assessment. If they failed this test, even the most exceptional warriors wouldn't be retained. Furthermore, during busy farming seasons, the Su family would hire common people as temporary laborers, alleviating the temporary livelihood challenges faced by many ordinary people. Over time, business in Qianyuan County began to recover, showing signs of thriving vitality. The Su family had been well prepared. Stores like Zuianju, Qianyuan Xianai Pavilion, Yongxiang Pavilion, Qiqialao, and Baikeoxun were all extremely popular, stocked with everything. Other families hadn't fully recovered, and some were absent. The Longxiang martial arts school reopened, and the sound of reading could be heard from the Su family school in Dongxi village. Su Mingshu and Su Mingxin both remained at home, cultivating on their own, no longer attending the martial arts gym they practiced day and night. Driven by Su Mingxin's words, "I hope to find them already innate when I return." Over 3 months passed in a flash. The Su family had already begun cultivating late rice seedlings. The early rice harvest and late rice transplanting would begin in mid to late July. Su Mingwei practiced daily and handled family affairs. Su Minggyun managed the Su family's various businesses, planning and deploying them, finding time for cultivation. And Su Chuan, in October, finally completed his research on the 5 elements returning to origin medicinal diet. This innate medicinal diet, developed in conjunction with the innate 5 elements creation technique, was unique to the Su family and could nearly double the speed of cultivation. Su Chuan estimated that it would take him 12 or 13 years to perfect the innate 5 elements creation technique. Now, within 5 or 6 years, he hoped to complete all 5 elements. As for purifying his spiritual roots, continued practice would allow him to attain true spiritual root qualifications. However, if he switched to the immortal path prematurely, the benefits of purifying his spiritual roots would be lost. Unless one's aptitude for cultivating immortality is already above the level of a true spiritual root, the gains will outweigh the losses. Although Su Mingwei had advanced to the Xianshan realm before him, Su Chuan estimated that he would be slightly slower, as he lacked the innate talent to aid cultivation. Father, could this be the 5 elements returning origin medicinal diet? Su Mingwei looked at the recipe Su Chuan handed him and instantly thought of the Xianshan 5 elements creation technique. Just as you expected, Su Chuan said calmly. This is a medicinal diet specifically formulated for the innate 5 elements creation technique, 1 serving daily, and each serving requires 50 taels of herbs. Hiss, Su Mingwei gasped. That's quite a lot. Father and I alone spend 3,000 taels a month. Tisk, 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 tisk. The great families in the county can only provide for a few people. I've reclaimed another 30 acres of medicinal fields at Biham Pond and planted all the herbs I need. Once they grow, it'll be easy, and we'll be self-sufficient. Later, I'll research some common innate and master-level medicinal diets, so that our family can continue to produce innate and master-level warriors. Thank you, Father. He had been mostly at Biham Pond these days, returning only at night. He had also discovered that his presence seemed to increase the growth rate of the surrounding trees and herbs, increasing it by at least 10%. Su Chuan speculated that this might be due to the influence of his 2 fateful gifts, Shennon's 100 herbs, and Heaven Rewards Diligence. If a talent like Green Emperor Wood Emperor appears in the future, what effect will it have? Su Chuan shook his head and laughed. Then he remembered something, looked at Su Mingwei and asked, the day after tomorrow is the day when Aon will get married. How is that kid doing recently? Aon, you seem a little nervous. Su Mingwei thought for a while and chuckled. After all, you have only met a girl from the Wu family once. Su Chuan's nervous look appeared in his mind, and he also laughed. Wait until she is married, and then you can get along slowly, and there will always be feelings. However, the Wu family has a really big appetite. They actually want 50% of Zhuai Unzhu's profits for 10 years. Su Mingwei was a little unhappy. Let the Wu family be happy first. 5 years later, King Jiang will definitely be the world of our Su family. All kinds of support are requested. I will continue to work hard on the manuscript, and repay all fellow Daoists when it is put on the shelves. Chapter 59. 4 years later. The Su family wedding was a grand affair. Unlike the Yang family before them, the Wu family had deep roots in Qingjiang County, operating for 200 years, with deep and thriving ties. Their combined family members were far more numerous than the Su families. Su Mingyu led the bride's reception, but Su Mingwei did not go. All the Su family affairs were now under his management, and the only thing left was the transfer of power as head of the family. However, Su Mingshu and Su Mingxin both went along. This time, Su Mingshu did not ride a white tiger, but rode horses with Su Mingxin. The bride's reception went smoothly, but Su Mingshu was somehow entangled with a chubby boy from one of the Wu family's in-laws. He looked to be about 14 or 15 years old. Su Mingshu naturally gave him a good beating. The boy was furious and wanted the servants to capture him and take him back, but the servants were not as naive as their young master. The Su family's only legitimate daughter, the apple of their eye, doted on, even with an exotic white tiger as her mount. Who would dare to provoke her? If they touched Su Mingshu today, neither the Wu nor the Su families would let them live. Disobeying their own master's orders, at most, would result in a beating. They still knew the difference between the serious and the minor. Damn it, you dare disobey my orders? I'll see what happens to you when I get back. The fat boy stormed off. How dare anybody dare to set their sights on me? Su Mingshu sneered. Su Mingyu chuckled, not really. He's the nephew of the head of the Wu family, from the wealthy Zhu family, affluent as hell. He's certainly got a lot of fat, Su Mingxin said seriously. Haha, Yanu is right. He definitely won't be able to marry you, Zhuji. I think father wouldn't want you to marry off. That's right, Su Mingshu winked and smiled playfully. I'm father's sweetheart. Ha ha ha. After receiving the bride, the Su family returned safely to the Su family in Dongxi village. The wedding ceremony took place. First, they bowed to heaven and earth, expressing their unwavering love for each other. Second, they bowed to their parents, wishing them a long and prosperous life. Then the banquet began. Mrs. Zhu knew that her son wanted to marry Su Mingshu, and she praised him for his good taste. She even mentioned it to Bai Jing at the banquet. Bai Jing probably knew the situation of her youngest son, so she declined directly, saying that Su Chuan loved her and wanted Su Mingshu to stay with her for a few more years. Mrs. Zhu naturally understood what she heard, and with a smile on her face, she turned around and told her brother about the Su family's faults. Brother, the Su family takes themselves too seriously. My Fenger fell in love with the Su family's daughter, but he was ridiculed. You are Fenger's uncle, so you have to make the decision for him. The head of the Wu family glanced at Mrs. Zhu. Su Mingshu, she is a good girl, heroic and valiant. His family married my daughter, and my family married her. which will strengthen the relationship and make the two families more closely connected. The Wu family was very wary of the Su family's strength, and he did not want to fight with the Su family unless it was necessary. Brother, we were talking about Fenger. Why are you so attracted to her? Given your son's situation, he could easily marry any daughter from an ordinary family. Is Su Mingshu really worthy of him? Brother, alright, it's time for you to go back. The head of the Wu family ordered them to leave, and Madame Zhu had no choice but to leave the Wu family. However, Su Mingshu is indeed outstanding. There are very few who are worthy of him. Only the third brother's youngest son, Wu Yaodao, is a good match. At 15, he has the strength of a second-rate warrior. By 18, he's expected to be a first-rate warrior. In his early 20s, he might reach the peak of the acquired realm. If he can find a way to obtain some key-inducing pills from the county city, he can reach the innate realm before he's 25. With such talent, he's no less talented than the direct descendants of the county city's aristocratic families. I think he's good enough to marry Su Chuan's daughter. However, the head of the Wu family didn't expect that when his third brother went to the Su family to propose marriage, he would return with Wu Yaodao. Upon inquiry, it turned out that Wu Yaodao had competed with Su Mingshu, and not only had he lost, but he had also accidentally injured his vital organs. Although the organ was ultimately saved, the doctor said that it would be difficult to reach the source directly in the future. The head of the Wu family was furious, but also horrified. His family's most talented son in 100 years couldn't match the talent of a single daughter. What about the other male descendants besides Su Mingwei? Weren't they also hidden talents? Even if it's excessive, we must be prepared. That night, he invited the heads of the Fang, Wang, He, and Xiao families to discuss a joint effort to suppress the Su family. But it was too late. The Su family's foundation in Qingjiang was already established. With tens of thousands of acres of cultivated land, they had a full range of seasonal crops, fruits, vegetables, and flowers, sufficient for self-sufficiency. Xuanzhou and Qianyuan were both leaders in their industries. Unless they drastically lowered their prices and engaged in a price war, it would be difficult to seize their momentum. Even if they did so, the Su family didn't care. The Su family's products were of superior quality, initially drawing away a significant number of customers, but after a few days or even a month, those customers would return of their own accord. Furthermore, the comparison between the two strengthened their resolve to choose the Su family's shop. The five great families desperately tried to suppress them, but the Su family's momentum grew stronger. They once joined forces to destroy the Su family's farmland, but their dispatches went unnoticed, presumably killing them. Naturally, they couldn't report such a matter to the authorities. Even if they did, if a thief from the Su family invaded and was executed on the spot, the authorities would be helpless. Furthermore, their ugly face would be exposed, tarnishing their reputation in Qingjiang. The following year, the Su family expanded into the markets of the five surrounding counties, establishing businesses like Xuanzhou and Qianyuan. The five great families were no longer able to suppress them. In just 1 year, the Su family's accumulated wealth equaled the profits accumulated by the five great families in several years. In May of that year, Su Mingyan and Wu Rushan had a daughter, Su Dejing. In August of the same year, Su Mingwei and Yang Ronghu had another son, Su Duan. By the third year, the Su family's guards had grown to 300 men, with over 100 servants and maids, and 500 to 600 farm hands. The selection process for the guards was extremely rigorous. Members had to be at least third-rate warriors. A patrol team consisted of 20 men, and the team leader had to be a second-rate warrior. 5 teams formed a large brigade, and the brigade leader had to be a first-rate warrior. The commander of the entire guard team was a peak-level acquired martial artist. That was just now. In a decade or so, it was estimated that only an innate martial artist would be able to lead the Su family's guards. By the 4th year, Su Mingyan, Su Mingshu, and Su Mingxin, under the Su family's full training, had reached the peak of their acquired martial arts, while Su Mingshu and Su Mingyan were still a little behind. This was all thanks to Su Chuan's later development of a simplified formula for innate medicinal food, which was twice as effective as the previous secret medicinal food. Otherwise, reaching this level of martial arts would likely take another 2 or 3 years. This is already the limit of acquired medicinal diets. No matter how potent the medicinal effects are, they would be more harmful than beneficial to acquired martial artists. However, this medicinal diet also has its drawbacks. It requires the physical fitness of a second-rate martial artist to begin taking it. Those who are not martial artists would likely suffer from ruptured meridians and death. Based on this, Chuan developed 3 secret medicinal diets. The first is for those below third-rate martial artists, rapidly strengthening their foundation and opening up their acupoints. The second is for those below second-rate martial artists, similarly strengthening their foundation and also improving their physical fitness. The third is the pseudo-innate medicinal diet mentioned earlier. With these 3 medicinal diets, the Su family's descendants will significantly accelerate their training as acquired martial artists. Those with average talent, such as Chen Danyu, who only become first-rate martial artists after their 30s, can expect to reach the peak in their early 20s. Those with exceptional talent can reach the peak around 18. Even better, those with special bloodlines like Su Dezhao could reach the ultimate state of acquired enlightenment before the age of 16. It seems like fewer fellow Taoists are visiting us. Have they all gone on a pilgrimage? Chapter 60, Building a Longevity Foundation. Su Mingwei had diligently practiced the innate 5 elements creation technique for 4 years. He had now reached the peak of the late Xiantian stage, only one step away from completing his spiritual roots. His progress was much faster than Chuan had imagined. At the Su family's Nanshan courtyard, in the left corridor of the courtyard, Su Mingwei and Yang Ronghe watched Su Dezhao squat in a horse stance in the courtyard, practicing basic boxing techniques. "Madam, you wrote to your father-in-law half a month ago. Haven't you heard back yet? Zhao is 6 years old. It's time for him to start martial arts training." Yang Ronghe looked at Su Mingwei and sighed helplessly. The Yang family is different from the Su family, after all. It's not a one-man show. The head of the family has great power, but there's also oversight from the Elders' Council. Last time, it was just to borrow something to test bloodlines, but this time it involves the transmission of family martial arts. The major families in the county are extremely secretive about their inherited martial arts. Once it leaks and is known to other families, it's easy for them to identify weaknesses and target them. Su Mingwei sighed and looked at Su Dezhao. From the long hours of horse stance, beads of sweat had formed on his face, but he showed no sign of stopping. "I'm not coveting the Yang family's inherited martial arts. I simply want the best for Zhao and don't want to waste his talent. With his natural talent, combined with the Su family's secret medicinal diet, he might even reach the Xiantian realm before he turns 16. Yang Ronghe knew the power of the Su family's secret medicinal diet. Yuan, Zuji, and Yunyu had made rapid progress in recent years thanks to it. However, she kept it a secret. Su Mingwei had told her not to speak of the Su family's medicinal diet or spread rumors about a Yuan, Zuji, and the others' abilities, even to the Yang family. In that case, let's just call it a day. After Zhao has established a solid foundation, we can practice the little dragon elephant kung fu. Yang Ronghe, feeling apologetic, said softly, "My dear, I'm so useless." "No, it's nothing serious. Could it be that my Su family covets the Yang family's martial arts?" "There's absolutely no need for that." Su Mingwei grasped her delicate hand and caressed it. "Besides, I know the nature of aristocratic families. They don't value their daughters who marry out. Even though my father-in-law loves me, his say is ultimately limited." Yang Ronghe snuggled in Su Mingwei's arms. Biham Pond. Chuan practiced here. Besides him, Su Mingshu and Su Mingxin also mostly accompanied him here. The black iron fruit tree was now 30 or 4 feet tall. Its dark green trunk, which could be hugged by a person, bore oval leaves, bearing dozens of fist-sized, tomato-shaped black iron fruits. A nearly 10-foot-long white tiger lay on its side beneath the tree, occasionally opening its eyes to gaze at the fruit, greed in its eyes. Last year, the black iron fruit began to bear fruit. Chuan fed the white tiger a few, and it developed a fondness for them. 3 months later, it devoured all the black iron fruit. One day, the white tiger was able to inhale and exhale moonlight, drawing upon the surrounding energies of heaven and earth. Simply put, it transformed from a ferocious beast into a demonic beast. Though only a demonic beast in the early stages of key training, its form had transformed, its aura becoming even more captivating. Its fur had become tough, and its claws could reach over a foot, greatly increasing its lethality. Coupled with its terrifying strength, even warriors at the early stages of Xiantian were no match for the white tiger. It was also through this transformation that the white tiger's body grew to nearly 10 feet in length. Chuan was astonished, speculating that the black iron fruit, originally intended for exotic beasts and demonic beasts, might have the power to promote bloodline transformation. It was most effective against non-demonic beasts, potentially achieving a bloodline transformation. The extent of its effect on demonic beasts was unclear. Fortunately, the white tiger had long been tamed. Even as a demonic beast in the early stages of key training, it had no intention of attacking the Su family. In fact, with its increased wisdom, it could even distinguish between those who belonged to the Su family and those who did not. It could understand some simple words spoken by people other than Su Mingshu. Inside the bamboo hut, Su Chuan sat cross-legged on a cushion. He looked inward, his 5 internal organs as if they were the 5 mountains. The liver gave birth to the fusang wood, the heart ignited the Nanming fire, the spleen condensed the Kunlun earth, the lungs hung the Tebei sword, and the kidneys surged into the beaming abyss. 5-colored energy flowed continuously through the 5 internal organs, circulating endlessly. Then, it penetrated the acupoints of the heavens, reaching the limbs and bones, and finally pouring into the spiritual platform. Suddenly, Su Chuan's body trembled slightly, and a 5-colored light seemed to overflow from his body. The 5 energies converged into the origin, reaching a mysterious state. He murmured softly, "The 5 elements rotate to create creation, the innate key permeates the universe. The unity of body and spirit allows one to comprehend the mysteries of the Dao, returning to one's true nature leads to immortality. Haha, it's finally done." Su Chuan burst into laughter, unable to contain himself. The sound was like a resounding bell, rustling the branches and leaves of the black iron fruit tree. The white tiger turned to look at the bamboo hut, then, bored, turned back. Su Mingshu and Su Mingxin, practicing outside the hut, paused, looked toward the hut, and then simultaneously approached the door. "Father, what's wrong?" Su Mingshu asked with concern. "Nothing. I just made a small breakthrough, and I felt happy, so I laughed a few times. You guys just keep practicing." The two left the hut to continue their training. Inside, Su Chuan's heart was filled with joy, and a look of emotion crossed his face. After over 40 years in this world, cautious, forbearing, and keeping a low profile, he had finally forged the foundation for immortality. Immortality is not possible through martial arts. Only the path to immortality can be glimpsed. However, those who possess the qualifications to cultivate immortality are extremely rare. In the entire Qianyuan County, the Immortal office has been established for 4 years, and no one has been found to have the qualifications to cultivate immortality. This also made Xiao Chang giggle sigh at the barrenness of this place. Su Chuan took out the detection crystal and pressed his hand on it. After getting familiar with it, the surface of the crystal emitted a white light. Miscellaneous spiritual root qualifications. The innate 5 elements creation technique is indeed mysterious. It can seize the destiny of heaven. As soon as it is completed, it is a mixed spiritual root qualification. Now he has cultivated this technique to perfection. To purify the spiritual roots, one can only continue to condense the power of the 5 elements over and over again, accumulating little by little to seize the destiny. He is the pioneer of this path in the Su family, and he can be said to be paving the way for his descendants. After a short rest, Su Chuan walked out of the bamboo house. After having spiritual roots, he was more sensitive to the power of the surrounding heaven and earth, that is, the spiritual energy. How rare they are, they're probably even rarer elsewhere. No wonder cultivators are mostly concentrated around the major county towns or the imperial city. Those places must have spiritual veins. Even if they are not main veins, there must be branches. However, the Great Wei Empire is quite large. Some of the towering mountains, wildernesses, swamps, rivers, and lakes may also have spiritual veins, but they're just not suitable for large human settlements. Although Su Chuan had reached innate perfection, the Su family's strongest fighter was still Su Mingwei. He looked at the white tiger under the black iron fruit tree and pondered, perhaps I can have Shitao capture a few more exotic beast cubs. With Zuji's gift for communicating with beasts, I could tame them and use them for my own purposes, and with the black iron fruit tree, there's a slight chance they could become demon beasts. Then in a dozen years, they'll be family demon beasts. Demon beasts have lifespans far longer than cultivators of the same realm. Su Chuan estimated that even if the white tiger didn't improve much later, it could probably live for 200 or 300 years. In terms of lifespan, cultivators of the same realm simply couldn't compare to demon beasts. I hope you will keep reading this new book. One day, the Su family will become an immortal family. Your name will be in the Book of Gratitude, and the Su family members will recite it daily, wishing you all the best and a promising future. Chapter 61 Life on the Border. At the border of the Wei dynasty, a northerly wind whipped up yellow sand, sweeping across the cracked Gobi Desert like a raging wave. The vast land was devoid of green. At the foot of two black, camel-like peaks, clusters of gray-green tents stood. This was the Wei army camp. The camp was divided into 4 camps, designated A, B, C, and D. Su Mingsun was in the D camp, given the rank of team leader and commanding 50 soldiers. Initially, they thought it was a simple border conflict, but upon arrival, they learned that it was actually due to the discovery of a black iron ore mine on the border between Wei and Dalian. The war erupted over the mineral resources. Now, Wei was in the ascendant, possessing the mine, but the Dalian army refused to give up, launching frequent surprise attacks. Black iron ore is an excellent material for forging ordinary iron weapons. It can also be used as a material for magical instruments for cultivators. Some in the Wei dynasty speculated that the mine was substantial and might contain a significant amount of black iron mother. Black iron essence is rare and precious, and can be used as a material for foundation building magical instruments. The Su family members are now scattered throughout the military camp. Military rules are strict. Even Qianyuan is not allowed to leave his own area. Therefore, in the past few years, Su Mingsun has only seen Li Zhi and Chen Daniu. They are both in the Yu camp. Chen Daniu is still a soldier under Li Zhi. If it weren't for a chance encounter while digging for ore, he would have never known them. Every day, he mines, starting at Chen, leaving at 3:45, and returning at Yu. It's pretty much the same work as the average civilian. Aside from the frantic battles of the first year, after the Wei dynasty occupied the mines, fighting would only occur once every 2 or 3 months. Through these battles, plus the occasional medicinal food sent from the Su family, Su Mingsun has now reached the peak of his acquired realm, but in the eyes of outsiders, he's only at the peak of the second rate, approaching the first rate level. It's now the 4th year that Su Mingsun and his group have been here. April 3rd. Spring should be here in Qianyuan County, right? Su Mingsun, for once, wasn't practicing his boxing. Instead, he gazed up at the crescent moon in the indigo sky, his eyes thick with longing. The border was desolate. The chill of late winter still lingered, and the corner flags of the Great Wei dynasty fluttered in the midnight wind. I wonder how father and mother are doing. Are they in good health? My eldest brother must be even stronger now. I wonder if he and sister-in-law have had another child. My second brother must have gotten married. He must be so busy that he doesn't even have time to practice martial arts. If he doesn't practice martial arts actively, I'm afraid father will scold him. Su Mingsun raised his lips. I should be able to see my second brother and sister-in-law's child when I get back, and Zuji. 4 years have passed. I wonder what she's become. Is Qianyu still that cold and arrogant? I wonder how my Su family is doing. Thinking of this, he quickly chuckled and shook his head. I'm just worrying too much. With father, my eldest brother, and my second brother here, the Su family will surely prosper. In 4 years, we'll definitely surpass the Wu family and become the most aristocratic family in Qianyuan County. The second day, daily mining. The third day, daily export mining. The 6th day, rest. Breathing, sensing the power of heaven and earth. In his spare time, he would drink and chat with his soldiers, and the conversation would basically revolve around women and future life. Most of them wanted to return to their hometown to become landlords, marry a few wives, have a few sons and daughters, and continue the family line. Captain Su, what kind of women do you like? Judging from your appearance when you came to the barracks, you must be young and not married yet. Beside the campfire, a dozen soldiers and Su Mingsun sat around. Wine was hard to come by in the barracks, and only Qianyuan could have a few sips, and everyone took turns to drink. Not yet, Su Mingsun smiled faintly. Su Chuan had a strict upbringing. After the Su family became rich, the brothers were busy practicing martial arts and had no chance of spending money on wine and women. If Su Chuan knew about this, he would probably break his legs. Haha, Captain Su, you look like a virgin who's never even tasted a woman. You must have been 14 or 15 when you came here, right? Your family often sends you gifts. This wine is extraordinary, so it must have been expensive. You must come from a wealthy family, yet you've never tasted a woman. You're a rare beast among playboys. Would you like some advice, brother? When it comes to women, you have to look for big breasts. They feel good. Hey, old Mo, I don't agree with that. Fair skin and long legs are the real treasures. I like perky ones, I like smooth ones, I like tight ones. I enjoy the feeling of overcoming obstacles. Overcoming obstacles? Do you think we're going to the battlefield? I just like flirty ones. They're open and unrestrained. Ha ha ha. Every time they talked about this, everyone swam awake, excited like wolves, vying to share their preferences and trying to convince everyone else. Stop, stop, stop. We're talking about Captain Su. What are you all doing? Old Mo stopped the others from arguing and turned to look at Su Mingxun. The others, curious as well, stopped and looked over. You really want to know? Yes, so curious, actually, I don't know either. Tisk Lao Mo said, Captain Su, we're all men, brothers who've been on the battlefield together. What's there to hide? Don't you agree? Yes, Lao Mo is right, someone jeered. Su Mingxun smiled wryly, but I really don't know. I wasn't born a rich young man. Later, my Su family prospered, life became easier, and we had quite a few servants and maids, but my family was very strict. My brothers didn't have any maids or concubines, so it was even more impossible for me. I spend most of my time practicing martial arts. Seeing Su Mingxun's seriousness, they stopped pushing him and instead felt sympathy. No wonder you're our captain, even though you're younger than us. This time, the conscription was strict, and numerous young men from all counties and prefectures were sent into the army by their families. Large families generally sent their children to practice martial arts, but few truly possessed the perseverance, determination, and talent. Many in their 20s were barely third-rate warriors. All their lives, they relied on their family, living a shabby existence. If I had been as diligent as Captain Su, perhaps I wouldn't have been abandoned by the family and sent to serve in the army. The Wei Liang War was a near-death experience. Those sent to serve in the army were essentially cannon fodder. Well, it's getting late, and we have mining to do tomorrow, so let's all get some rest. Soldiers began to return to their tents. Team leaders could share a tent with their soldiers, or request a separate small tent. Su Mingxun occupied the small tent. Upon returning, he sat cross-legged in meditation, breathing in and out, and comprehending the power of heaven and earth. This is a necessary stage for all warriors who reach the peak of the acquired realm. However, the power of heaven and earth is profound, and without a complete spiritual root, comprehending it is extremely difficult. Many acquired realm warriors never achieve a breakthrough. Others, on the other hand, can achieve the key drawing stage in 3 or 4 months, reaching the innate realm. Another few days of mining. The double hump was nearly dug through. Clang Su Mingxun's pickaxe struck something with a resounding sound, numbing his palm. What is this? Black iron essence stone. Qianyuan's recommendation rules have changed again. I feel like I'm going to lose. After the second round, I'm unlucky. I guess the new system will start working. My future is uncertain. Fellow Daoists, please help me. I'm following the high-level reading. I think I can still get traffic and exposure. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62 Opportunity. No, Su Mingxun quickly noticed something was amiss. The exposed stone surface shone silver. Black iron essence stone should be black with a sheen. He had unearthed a few pieces before. More than half the men in the Wei military camp were engaged in mining, but digging was difficult, and it was unlikely that the ore would be found in a continuous mass. Therefore, it was normal for them to go days without a harvest. Let's dig it out first, Su Mingxun thought, then began to tap gently around the edges to confirm the ore's edges. Is it the size of a palm? It feels a bit small, Su Mingxun muttered to himself before resuming digging. Strange. How can such a small piece of ore be so heavy? It must weigh hundreds of pounds. This is an opportunity, the thought flashed through Su Mingxun's mind. I have to turn it in. While the ore was small and easy to carry, it was difficult to take outside. Su Mingxun told Lao Mo and the others to continue their work while he returned to the camp and went to the captain's tent. Every captain was an innate warrior. As for the commander-in-chief, a squad leader like him was essentially unqualified to meet him. Captain Jen, Su Mingxun requests an audience, Su Mingxun called from outside the tent. Su Mingxun, Captain Jen remembered, This was the man he had personally selected to serve as a squad leader under his command. "Come in." Su Mingsun walked into the tent and bowed. "What's the matter?" "Tell me," Captain Je said calmly, returning to his duties. Su Mingsun, holding the ore in both hands, said, "I've unearthed a unique ore at Chuan. It's suspected to be a fine piece of black iron essence stone. Bring it here for me to see," Captain Je said immediately, his heart pounding. Su Mingsun stepped forward and placed the silver-gray ore on his desk. After taking a closer look, he suddenly laughed out loud. "It is indeed the black iron essence mother. I didn't expect that the first piece of black iron essence mother was dug out under my command. It is really God's blessing. Come on, follow me to see the commander-in-chief." On the way, Su Mingsun asked curiously, "Excuse me, Captain, what is this black iron essence mother?" "It's okay to tell you. You all know about the black iron essence stone. It is the material for casting precious weapons. It can barely be related to the magic weapon of the Immortal Master, but the black iron essence mother is completely the material for the magic weapon that the Immortal Master needs. A black iron essence stone mine may not produce a piece of black iron essence mother." "Su Mingsun, you have made a great contribution." Su Mingsun clasped his fists and said, "It is all the credit of the captain." "How dare I take credit for it?" Captain Je nodded with satisfaction. He was a man who knew how to deal with things. "Don't worry, I'll commend you. This first piece of black iron essence mother is a significant contribution. A first-class merit is a no-brainer. With this achievement, you can definitely open a martial arts school back home after the war." "By the way, which county are you from?" "Yuhu County." "Yes," Captain Je nodded. "Your strength is a bit low, otherwise, with this first-class merit, you could get a position in the county." Soon, the two arrived at the tent of the commander-in-chief of the ding-shaped camp. 4 peak-level postnatal warriors, clad in black armor, guarded the tent entrance. "Captain Jezuan Hong comes to see the commander-in-chief. Let them in." A deep voice rang out from the tent, and the soldiers let them in. "Jezuan Hong, how did you find the time to come here?" "To congratulate you, sir." "Oh, what's there to be happy about? Please look, sir." Jezuan Hong presented the black iron mother. The commander recognized it immediately and exclaimed, "Black iron mother, haha, the first black iron mother to appear in my Dongxi camp. Look how those old guys are showing off in front of me." "Ha ha ha, Jezuan Hong, this commander will never forget your contribution." "Thank you, sir." "This black iron mother was dug up by my subordinate, team leader Su Mingsun. I'd like to recommend him for a first-class merit." The commander glanced at Su Mingsun. "He's a very energetic young man." "I agree. Thank you, sir." "Thank you, sir." Su Mingsun immediately bowed in salute. The two quickly returned to the captain's tent. Jezuan Hong patted Su Mingsun on the shoulder and said with a smile, "Su Mingsun, are you interested in becoming my personal guard? I see you have some luck and can patrol the mining area under my jurisdiction for me." "Thank you, Captain Jack, I'm willing." Su Mingsun smiled and saluted. "Do your best. I have high hopes for you." That day, Su Mingsun had his soldiers dig in the area where the black iron essence mother had been unearthed. They unearthed a large amount of black iron essence stone, making Jezuan Hong's achievements far surpass those of the other captains' mines. Delighted, Su Mingsun's soldiers also received commendations from Jezuan Hong. Merit could be earned for mining a certain amount of ore and for killing alien soldiers. However, some rewards, such as key-inducing pills and key blood pills, would not be distributed until the war was over and the merits were calculated. "I wonder if my brothers will be surprised when I return, father, and see my first-class commendation." "Indeed, father is right. Trust your instincts." Su Mingsun didn't know about the black iron essence mother, but upon seeing the silver ore, he immediately knew it was a treasure. He handed it over without hesitation. "Material for a cultivator's magical tool, but sadly, it's of no use to my Su family." With this thought, Su Mingsun quickly entered a state of meditation, breathing in and out, sensing the power of heaven and earth. Yuhu County, Qianyuan County. Dongxi Village. Baihantan. "The snow has cleared. I'm here, father." Su Mingshu swung around and in a few steps arrived at the newly built blue brick and black tiled house next to the bamboo hut. "Go down the mountain to find your eldest brother and find 5 loyal martial artists. Age requirements, 1 between 6 and 12, 1 between 15 and 20, 1 between 21 and 30, 31 to 40, and 41 to 50. That's good, just go. Remember, loyalty comes first, and you must be a martial artist." "Oh, I see." Su Mingshu nodded and called to the white tiger, Little White, the white tiger stood up, looked at Su Mingshu, then at the black iron fruits on the tree, reluctant to leave. When you come back, I'll have my father give you a few, the white tiger roared excitedly. Dong, 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 with a few leaps, he covered over 100 meters and arrived in front of Su Mingshu. Su Mingshu climbed on top and patted him gently. Let's go home, roar. The white tiger ran, creating a gust of wind and disappearing in the blink of an eye. Su Mingxin stopped breathing and walked to the house, looking at Su Chuan inside. He saw an alchemy furnace in front of him, the flames extinguished. Did Dad refine something good? It's a good thing, but it's of no use to you. Su Chuan picked up the porcelain bottle beside him and handed it to Su Mingxin. Su Mingxin walked into the house and took the porcelain bottle. There was a label on the porcelain bottle, and it said, Tongqiao pill. Tongqiao? Is it a pill that helps to open up the acuite points? Su Chuan nodded and said, yes, unlike medicinal food, this pill has a miraculous effect on opening up the acuite points, especially the first few times it is taken. It should be able to open up an acuite point directly. When a first-class warrior reaches the peak of the acquired realm, it becomes increasingly difficult to open up the acuite points. Even with the help of medicinal food, it takes days and months to accumulate. But if it is combined with Tongqiao pill, the time to reach the peak of the acquired realm can be reduced by half. Su Mingxin was shocked. With this pill, plus our family's 3 secret medicinal foods, as long as the warrior's aptitude is decent, can't we quickly cultivate a group of peak acquired realm warriors? Chapter 63 The third innate person of the Su family. That's perfect for my second brother and fourth sister. Su Mingxin's first thought was of Su Mingyun and Su Mingshu, who hadn't yet reached the peak of their acquired realm. After the tests are complete and there are no major issues, it won't be too late to let them take it. Yeah, Su Mingxin agreed. Then, he remembered something and asked, Father, has Xiao Bei transformed into a demon beast? It's giving me a lot of pressure. Yes, it must be the effects of the black iron fruit. No wonder Xiao Bei is so greedy, but my fourth sister can actually tame a demon beast. That's amazing. Su Mingxin hinted at something, and Su Chuan's eyes lit up. Don't worry. Zuji isn't able to tame an adult demon beast yet, but Xiao Bei has been nurtured since childhood, so he won't harm our Su family. Demon beasts generally have developed intelligence and can be trained to guard the family. Zuji has a natural talent for taming beasts. He'll be responsible for this from now on. I've asked your eldest brother to find a way to capture some more young exotic beasts. One more might give our Su family another demon beast to protect us in the future. Su Mingxin said no more. Su Chuan studied him for a moment. How do you think it will take to reach the Xianshan realm? Within half a month, Su Mingxin's eyes flashed with determination. Well, Xianshan is just your starting point. Your talent can only truly flourish once you reach Xianshan. Talent, no need to ask. There are 20 Tongqiao pills inside. When Zuji brings the people, have Zuji feed them each one, and then observe them for a few days. Yes, Father. With that, Su Chuan continued to practice the Xianshan 5 elements creation technique. His daily practice now consisted of studying the properties of medicinal combinations or cultivating rare herbs. The Tongqiao pill formula was based on the properties of qi and blood pills and medicinal foods, combined with Su Chuan's own research. He now largely disregarded Su family affairs. The position of head of the family had been handed over to Su Mingwei 3 months after Su Mingyun's wedding. Su Mingwei and Su Mingyun rarely disturbed Su Chuan unless something serious was going on. An hour or two later, Su Mingshu arrived with a group, including an acquaintance, Lear. He was now 47, fitting neatly into the final age group. Loyalty came first, so Su Mingwei summoned him. Su Mingxin gave the Tongqiao pill to Su Mingshu, explaining its efficacy to her, much to her astonishment. He then distributed it among the 5 people. After a few days, seeing no adverse effects, Su Mingshu took 10 pills from Su Chuan and gave them to Su Mingyun. 10 days passed in the blink of an eye. Su Mingxin successfully achieved a Xianshan breakthrough, becoming the Su family's 3rd Xianshan expert. A 16-year-old Xianshan was a feat achieved by only a handful of individuals, even within the county's leading families. Father, I've achieved a breakthrough. Su Mingxin happily ran up to Su Chuan. Su Chuan placed a hand on his shoulder with a smile, saying, You're as good as your word. It's all thanks to the secret medicinal diet Father developed. Otherwise, even if you knew work very hard, it would have taken 3 or 4 years to reach the peak of the acquired realm. It's also because you have a good talent for martial arts. And you train day and night, even in the coldest and hottest days of winter. Chuan smiled slightly. Now that you've reached the innate realm, it's time to practice my Su family's inherited techniques. My Su family's inherited techniques? Su Mingxin was puzzled. The Su family had only been around for a little over 20 years, so where did they get their inherited techniques? This is our Su family's core secret. He then told Su Mingxin what he had told Su Mingwei. Su Mingxin was equally astonished by this martial arts-based technique. What was most shocking was that it had the effect of replenishing and purifying spiritual roots. Father, you said I have the talent to cultivate immortality. Chuan took out the test crystal and said calmly, put your hand on it. After a moment, the test crystal emitted a faint white light. The white light represents mixed spiritual roots. But if you can cultivate the innate 5 elements creation technique to perfection, you can purify your spiritual roots and reach the aptitude of true spiritual roots. The gap between these two levels is enormous. If mixed spiritual roots are a trait that only appears once in 100,000 people, then true spiritual roots are a trait that only appears once in a million people. After Su Mingxin memorized the innate 5 elements creation technique, he also began practicing it. The next day, he went to Su Mingwei to obtain the ingredients for the 5 elements, returning to origin medicinal diet. Yunyu, have you made a breakthrough, brother? How did you know? The 5 elements returning to origin medicinal diet is known to all, and it's specifically formulated to complement a ancient 5 elements creation technique. Since you've come to get it, I know you must have made a breakthrough. Su Mingxin nodded. I just made a breakthrough yesterday. Father told me there's a corresponding medicinal diet to aid in cultivation, so I came to get it from you, brother. Haha, brother, I'm eager for all of you to come get the medicinal diet from me. Su Mingwei's eyes lit up with joy, and he patted him on the shoulder, saying, Yunyu, practice hard, and strive to surpass me soon. Yunyu, I'll work hard. Su Mingxin took the medicinal diet and returned to Bahantan. Not long after, Su Mingxin arrived. Qianyuan, you've arrived just in time. I was just about to talk to you, Su Mingwei said. Come, sit down and chat. Brother, feel free to tell me, it's about cultivation techniques. How are those immortal officials doing? The Su family is now the richest in the 5 surrounding counties, including Qianyuan County, and one of the most prominent in all of Yuhu County. Immortal cultivation techniques aren't easily acquired, so the easiest way is to trade with fellow cultivators. Even the most common techniques are difficult to sell to fellow cultivators, unless they're rare and precious. Therefore, some aristocratic families can only obtain them from them in exchange. Of course, the price is hefty. The whereabouts of independent cultivators are elusive, and the only ones the Su family can currently contact are the immortal officials of the Immortal Affairs Bureau. All 5 immortal officials are within the Su family's circle of acquaintances. The most powerful and well-connected is Xiao Changyin, who has reached the 4th level of key training and hails from the Xiao family of Longjiang County. The rest are at the 2nd or 3rd level of key training, ordinary independent cultivators. Becoming an immortal official was simply a way to earn the Wei dynasty's salary. 1 low-grade spirit stone every 2 months. For a struggling cultivator in the early stages of key training, this was already a good deal. After 3 or 4 years, they could purchase a low-grade flying sword. Su Mingxin smiled as he said, we've almost won them over. Immortal cultivators are human too, with emotions and desires. They're asking between 50 and 100,000 taels. Such a high price for a handwritten copy is ridiculous. And the 50,000 tael copies are incomplete, only good enough for cultivation to the late stages of key training. For most ordinary people, immortal cultivation techniques are completely useless, inferior to innate martial arts. Su Mingwei chuckled, you're right, but they think they've profited. How could they know it's us who've profited? Su Mingxin laughed heartily upon hearing this. Although he hadn't reached the innate realm, he controlled all of the Su family's assets and held a high position of power, so he had also been informed of the existence of the innate 5 elements creation technique. Oh, and I have another piece of good news for you. Yunyu has also achieved a breakthrough. Haha, good boy. Su Mingxin's eyes lit up. It seems that when Tantao returns, Yunyu and Zuji will have truly reached the Xiantian stage. You have to work hard too. You've received the Dongxi pill that Dad developed, right? Combined with my Su family's secret medicinal diet, I estimate that in a few months, you'll be able to reach the peak of the acquired stage. As for the Yinki pill, I've asked my uncle to buy it for you in the county city. Su Mingyian's martial arts talent is far inferior to that of his other brothers and sisters, so he can only rely on a large amount of resources to accumulate it. Fortunately, with the Su family's current wealth, they can afford to raise several people. Got it, big brother. I will catch up as soon as possible, Su Mingyian said, but it would be great if father could refine the key-inducing pill. I estimate that the materials for this pill are only 200 or 300 taels at most, but each pill sells for 3,000 taels. With my aptitude, I probably need 10 or 20 pills to break through. You are a businessman yourself, but you don't know how the cost price and the selling price can be the same price. Su Mingyi took a sip of tea, gently placed the teacup on the brown-red coffee table, and added, if you can get the formula, I think with father's alchemy skills, he should be able to refine it. If not, I don't know how long it will take to study the recipe for the key-inducing pill. I'll try. It would be best if those immortal officials have it. Thanks to Xinjek, Jian, Wu Ming, 10 years of achievement book emperor, and God Envoy Titan for their rewards and support. Chapter 64. 2 days later, Su Mingyian arrived at the Immortal office in Qianyuan County. Go and tell them that Su Mingyian of the Su family in Qianyuan has come to see Immortal official Xiao. A yeoman runner at the office's gate narrowed his pupils, nodded, and immediately walked inside. Another yeoman runner sized up Su Mingyian. After all, he was a prominent figure whose stomping of his foot could shake the entire Qianyuan region, so who wouldn't be curious? 2 years ago, the 5 great families of Wu, Feng, Wang, He, and Xiao, realizing they could no longer control the Su family, apologized and offered compensation. They had since cut ties with the Su family. They had naturally demanded back the 50% profit from Zuianju, which Su Mingyian had gifted to the Wu family at their wedding. Furthermore, they had lost a significant amount. Knowing they couldn't afford to offend, the 5 great families were no fools and made every effort to make amends. Fortunately, their competition was merely commercial, and they hadn't taken any drastic action against the Su family's direct line. Therefore, the Su family accepted the apology and left them alone, focusing solely on developing their own family. After a while, Xiao Changyian came out with a smile. Su Mingyian didn't expect that he would come out to greet him in person. Xiao's Xianxi is too polite. You could have just asked the yeoman runner to take me in to pay me a visit. Why did you come out to greet me in person? Ha ha ha, you are the god of wealth in Qingjiang. Not everyone is qualified to come out to greet you. This morning I heard the magpie calling on the branch. It turned out that good things are coming. Please come in quickly. The 2 of them arrived at the study. Xiao Changyian said, Brother Mingyian, please sit down as you please. There are only 2 of us here. There is no need to call me Xiao Xianxi. It seems unfamiliar, then I will obey your order, Brother Changyian, Su Mingyian said with a fist. Brother Mingyian, what brings you to my immortal office today? Su Mingyian took a sip of tea, set down his cup, and looked at Xiao Changyian. Regarding the immortal cultivation technique we discussed earlier, I've considered it and will sell it for 100,000. Okay, Brother Mingyian, that's straightforward. This was merely a low-level, ordinary key cultivation technique, worth less than a single spirit stone in the immortal cultivation market, and no one would even want it. In Longjiang County, some wealthy families could afford a copy for a mere 30,000 or 40,000 taels. Of course, they all had acquaintances with immortal cultivators, otherwise, ordinary families wouldn't have found the means to exchange them. The Su family was currently in this predicament. They could only find a way to help someone in their family become an immortal cultivator and gain exposure to the world of Great Way cultivation. That would make the future much easier. I've already prepared the technique. Take a look, Mingyian. Xiao Changyian slapped his storage bag, and a secret manual flew out, landing on the coffee table in front of Su Mingyian. Eternal Spring Technique. Su Mingyian muttered quietly and began to flip through the pages. Xiao Changyian watched quietly, noticing Su Mingyian's frown. Don't worry, Brother Mingyian. This is a complete key training manual. It can be cultivated to the great perfection of key training. It also contains instructions for breaking through to the foundation establishment stage. 100,000, you'll definitely get it. I naturally trust Brother Changyian. Besides the manual, I wonder if you have any recipes for immortality elixirs. Elixir recipes? Xiao Changyian pondered, glancing at Su Mingyian several times. He had previously heard him collecting immortality manuals, assuming they were preparing for the future of the Su family. While the Su family was currently a mortal family, it was prospering. If it survived for hundreds of years, it was possible that a child with the potential to cultivate immortality would emerge from the family. But hearing the recipes made him suspicious. Test crystals from years ago, and now immortality manuals, and even recipes? Could it be that the Su family already had someone with the potential to cultivate immortality? But why wasn't it being made public? Whether one becomes a disciple of an immortal cultivator, joins the Wei government, or joins a renowned immortal family, one can obtain key cultivation techniques for free. Why would one need to buy them? However, if any of the Su family's 5 sons truly possess the aptitude for cultivation, they're already quite old by now. Well, what business does it have with me? Xiao Changge sighed inwardly. Yuhu County and Longjian County are separated by 2 counties. After leaving and returning to Longjian County in 10 or 20 years, their path will likely cross again. Xiao Changge raised his head and smiled faintly. Elixir recipes are far more precious than cultivation techniques. How could I possibly possess them? Besides, alchemy isn't something a casual cultivator would dare to tackle. It requires vast resources, and even among the renowned key cultivating families, few can cultivate alchemists. So, you don't have the recipe for the key-inducing pill? Su Mingyan asked again. Xiao Changge shook his head, then smiled. But I have a way to get the key-inducing pill. 3,500 taels apiece, a fair price. Brother Mingyan, would you like one? Swindler, Su Mingyan muttered inwardly. With this eternal spring technique, the trip wouldn't be in vain. Furthermore, it's a wood-attributed technique. My father is already good at cultivating various crops and fruit trees, and it seems there are also spells to promote plant growth in it. Perhaps he would like it. After chatting for a while, Su Mingyan got up and said goodbye. He returned to Dongxi village and headed straight for Bahantan. After half an incense stick of time, Su Chuan looked at the eternal spring technique in his hand and smiled faintly. Awen is thoughtful. This technique is just right for me. Although cultivating immortals requires all 5 elements, the techniques used for cultivation generally only cultivate one attribute, and this is also the case in the world of immortals. After all, there is no limit to cultivation, but life is limited. The wood-attributed technique is very suitable for pairing with shening herbs. Although these are merely common immortal cultivation techniques, they are, after all, the stepping stone for my Su family to open the door to immortal cultivation. It would be best if we could gather a copy of each of the 5 elements cultivation techniques. In the future, the children of our family will cultivate the technique that best suits their element. Su Mingyan nodded. I understand, father. Leave this to me. However, my eldest brother asked me to collect the recipe for the key-inducing pill. Even Xiao Changge doesn't have it, and the immortal officials in other counties are all ordinary cultivators, so the chances of finding one are even slimmer. Just do your best, Su Chuan said, stroking his beard and smiling. The key-inducing pill isn't a true immortal elixir, but I'm confident I can develop a similar formula within a year or 2. If we could use a genuine key-inducing pill as a model, the process might be 3 times faster. Su Mingyan beamed at this. Relying entirely on purchasing key-inducing pills from others wasn't a sustainable solution. Just like medicated food, without a family's own secret recipes, true success is difficult. Brother Sidon has asked Yang Shichen to help with the acquisition. Upon hearing this, Su Chuan nodded slightly. By the way, father, I plan to acquire large quantities of farmland and forests in other counties as well. What do you think? It's a good idea, but a bit tasty. Su Chuan looked at Su Mingyan, a smile playing on his lips. Sometimes, more wealth isn't always better. Remember, if virtue doesn't match one's position, disaster will follow. Su Mingyan pondered for a moment, thinking about the Su family's rise, and he understood the meaning of virtue. When the Su family was initially powerful, Su Chuan endured it and maintained a low profile, only confronting them head-on after Su Mingwei attained the strength of a top-tier warrior. When the 5 great families combined were unable to resist, Su Chuan recruited Gu Yiping, a late-stage Xiantian master, to intimidate the 5 families, while continuing to maintain a low profile. After the great disaster, each family suffered heavy losses, and only then did they seize the opportunity to rise and lay the foundation for their own success. Father, I understand your teachings. Su Mingyan then left Bahantan. Until the Su family has sufficient military power to intimidate, it's in their best interest to quietly enrich themselves. What they need to do now is cultivate more loyal, top-tier warriors, those who will eventually reach the pinnacle of martial arts. Only then can they effectively intimidate the various county-level aristocratic families. The Su family's influence is already considerable, but with connections to the Yang family in Yuhu County, it's not impossible to make some inroads and gather some information along the way. Su Mingyun instantly came up with a plan. Currently, we're switching to a 2-day data plan. If it works well, we'll continue or upgrade to a larger plan. If it doesn't, we'll switch to a smaller data plan. I used to catch up on it on Mondays and Tuesdays, and if it was a good read, it would be featured weekly. Now it's this frequent. I'm stunned. Please vote, please support. It's about to be removed from the new book list. Fellow Daoists, please help, let's give it another try. Chapter 65 Concerns. Su's family. Nanshan Courtyard. Husband, my brother wrote to ask us to take Zhao and Wiener to the county capital. What are your thoughts? Yang Ronghua brought a foot basin to his feet and placed it there, then looked up at him. Su Mingwei sat down in front of the bed, placed his feet in it, and frowned, wondering. Go to the county capital. Yang Ronghua stood up and said, First, my parents want to see Zhao and Wiener. Second, my brother said the clan elders want to test them again and, depending on the results, consider whether to pass on the Yang family's martial arts to Zhao. Su Mingwei pondered for a moment. Whether or not Zhao receives the Yang family's martial arts is secondary. Zhao and the others haven't seen their maternal ancestors since they were born, so it's natural for them to go and see them. But as the head of the Su family, I can't just walk away. Upon hearing this, Yang Ronghua's eyes dimmed. Su Mingwei knew that in the years since their marriage, Yang Shichen had only visited once, so Yang Ronghua's claim that she didn't miss her parents-in-law was definitely a lie. She just hid the emotion well. He saw it all, and it hurt his heart. The room was silent. The only sound was the clatter of jade beads breaking as Su Mingwei's feet crossed in the copper basin. Ripples in the basin shattered and then reappeared, reflecting the dim light of the fading candle. Suddenly, a determined look flashed in Su Mingwei's eyes. I'll talk to my father tomorrow and ask him to help look after it. It should be no problem, but I'll make you work harder. Thank you, my husband. Please wash it and I'll take it away. Yang Ronghua was truly happy at this moment. It's just a small matter, it can be done tomorrow. Su Mingwei pulled Yang Ronghua towards him, and amid her exclamations, she fell into his arms. Her creamy cheeks seemed kissed by the sunset, two rosy hues spreading from her cheekbones, making her skin look like fresh snow reflecting the morning sun. But her eyes were still evasive, causing the blush to spread down her ears, even more radiant than the candlelight. Husband. Yang Ronghua's voice was soft as a mosquito's whisper, just as shy and charming as when they first met. The candle is still burning. Su Mingwei's lips curled into a smile. From the flutter of his wide sleeves, a wisp of innate energy, like a silver snake spitting out its tongue, suddenly snipped the dancing golden core of the candle wick. The room's brilliance faded, leaving only the moonlight that filtered through the carved lattices, creating a sliver of frost on the ground. The curtains fell. Brother, are you and my sister-in-law going to the county town? Hearing this, Su Mingyun's eyes shone slightly, and he smiled and said, I also plan to develop a business layout in the county town. Since you are going, I might as well go with you. You are going too. Where will your family be? We will be able to return in 7 or 8 days at most. Now Qianyuan County and the surrounding counties are stable, and there won't be too many twists and turns. Just let my father help take care of 1 or 2. As for miscellaneous matters, there are Zhou Ming and others. We can't have to keep an eye on everything. Okay, I can't argue with you, but you go alone? Your sister-in-law and children stay at home, Su Mingwei asked. Let's go up the mountain together to ask father for his permission first. I'll ask him again when we get back. But I doubt Russian will go, Su Mingyun smiled. Unlike my sister-in-law, she has ambitions to be a heroine. Now she's a top-tier warrior. After obtaining the Dongxi pill, she's barely even caring about Ginger, focusing solely on reaching the peak of the postnatal realm. Sister-in-law, that's quite something. Su Mingwei shook his head and laughed. Then let's go up the mountain first. Near the Bihun Pond, Su Mingshu and Su Mingxin were both training nearby. One was striving for the peak of the postnatal realm, while the other was diligently practicing the Qianyuan 5 elements creation technique. Su Mingxin, worthy of his innate talent of swallowing mountains and rivers, breathed in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth 70% to 80% faster than an average person after reaching the Qianyuan realm. This was just the beginning. As his cultivation deepened, his natural talent for key training would gradually become apparent. Furthermore, His daily intake of a 5 elements Qianyuan herbal meal allowed him to condense the 5 elements Qi at an astonishing rate. Chuan had been observing all this for the past few days, estimating that reaching Qianyuan perfection would only take him 2 or 3 years. Moreover, he possessed all 5 elements and possessed a natural talent for mixed spiritual roots. Reaching innate perfection would allow him to purify mixed spiritual roots into true spiritual roots. Big brother, second brother, why are you here? Su Mingshu asked with a hint of surprise upon seeing the two. One handled family affairs, the other the family business, both very busy. We have something to ask father. Father is in retreat at the bamboo hut. Come on. Chuan, with his sharp ears and eyes, had already known of their arrival. Su Mingwei had told Chuan about his family's plans to travel to the county town, including Su Mingguan's plans to use the Yang family's banner to establish a business presence there. Chuan paused. Su Mingshu's eyes lit up. Big brother, second brother, you're all going to the county town? I want to go too. What? Are you starting to dislike me, your father? Chuan looked up at Su Mingshu. Su Mingshu immediately walked up to him, hugged his arm and shook it, and said coquettishly, Dad, how could Zuji dislike you? Zuji just wants to see what the county city is like. Let's talk about it after you reach the innate level. Su Mingguan also said, I've also heard from your second brother that ordinary families in the county city have innate people in charge, and some big families have at least 7 or 8, and there are also masters. Those at the peak of the acquired realm are just house guards in the county city. Families like Wu Fangwang are just second-rate people in the county city. Don't scare me, second brother. If it's that weird, then our Su family is just a medium-sized family in the county city. Su Mingshu widened his eyes. That's about right, Su Mingguan said with a smile. That's why your second brother plans to go to the county town to make some arrangements for our Su family to move into the county town in the future, and big brother, he's not going there for fun either. Zhaoer has pure Yang blood, making him suitable for practicing the Yang family's inherited martial arts. The Yang family elders insisted on testing him again, and your eldest sister-in-law also missed her parents, so the whole family went together. Zuji, stop making trouble. Stay home and practice well, Chuan said. I know, father. Although Su Mingshu could be temperamental, she was still obedient. You've been humiliated, right? Su Mingxin added insult to injury. Stinky little brother. Unlike Su Mingxin was a natural cultivator and could endure loneliness. Then, Chuan looked at Su Mingwei and the others inside. Now that you've made up your mind, let's go. Be careful. After all, the prefecture town is not like the county town. It's a place where crouching tigers, hidden dragons, and crouching tigers are everywhere. Yes, father. Su Mingwei and Su Mingguan were naturally delighted to receive permission and immediately returned to the Su family to prepare for their departure. Father, Yunyu sees that you seem to have concerns. Chuan sighed softly. The prefecture town is a place where martial arts and immortal ways coexist, with many large families. It's not easy to enter. The flow has dropped from a large volume package plus to a large volume package plus. I don't know where to begin. Let's just ask for more reading and votes. As long as fellow Daoists are willing to support me, I will continue to write with all my heart. Chapter 66 Moon Lake County. Isn't it just a visit to relatives? Su Mingxin's face was slightly suspicious. The Yang and Su families had interacted for years. Yang Ronghe was dignified, gentle, generous, and well-mannered. After marrying into the Su family, she was loved by the servants. Yang Zhao and his son were also honest and generous, worthy of close friendship. Uncle Yang and his family won't attack my eldest brother and his family, right? Chuan smiled faintly. They won't, but Qianyu, don't confuse the individual with the family. In aristocratic families, often individuals will protect the family for their own benefit, but the family may not protect the individual. Sometimes, even one must learn to let go. Su Mingxin nodded slightly, thoughtful. Chuan lowered his brows and smiled faintly, patting him on the shoulder. All right, stop worrying about nothing. Just focus on practicing your skills. Father always plans carefully before taking action. What we just said was just a guess. Don't take it seriously. After all, the Yang family is a large family, passed down for centuries, and they have their own style and dignity. If they had relied solely on plunder to grow, they wouldn't have survived until now. They would have long been a thorn in the eyes of the other families in the county, and they wanted to be eliminated as soon as possible. Chuan looked up at the distant green mountains, his eyes deep, and it was unknown what he saw. Let them go out and see. In the future, not just them, but you, me, and Mingshu will all leave the Su family and seek opportunities for its development. With that, Chuan said no more. Su Mingxin looked at the group gradually disappearing on the horizon, his eyes gleaming with anticipation, as if he was looking forward to what would happen if he left the Su family, Yuhu County City. Su Mingwei and his companions arrived near the Yuhu County City gate in a carriage. Inside the carriage, Yang Ronghu held 2-year-old Su Duan in her arms, while Su Dezhao sat upright beside her. There were also 2 maids. As for the brothers Su Mingwei and Su Mingyun, they rode on horseback with 6 guards. Wu Rushan ultimately didn't come along. This is the county town. It's truly magnificent, unmatched by any county town. Su Mingyun gazed at the majestic fortress that came into view, a feeling welling up in his heart. The blue stone walls coiled like a giant dragon, arrowheads from previous dynasties embedded in the rammed earth, and stubborn thorns grew between the brickwork. A gilded plaque reading Moon Lake hung over the main gate. Beneath the plaque, 3 arches embraced merchants from across the wilderness. The ironclad gates had been worn down to their natural wood, their copper nails crisscrossed like frozen rainstorms. A rusty alarm bell hung beneath the eaves of the corner tower, its lingering ring echoing in the wind. Layers of rammed earth accumulated at the base of the wall, where new moss and old blood scabs interwoven into the brickwork formed a historical emblem. And then there's the vast moat surrounding the city, its mottled walls reflected in its shadows. It's truly magnificent, Su Mingwei remarked. Arriving at the city gate, the 2 men spotted the Yang residence's steward, who had been waiting for them. Su Mingwei had met him before at the Yang residence in Qingjiang. Housekeeper Yang, sir, the master has me waiting every day, and finally you've arrived. Hearing the voice, Yang Ronghu lifted the curtains on the carriage. Seeing the familiar figure, a smile immediately crossed her lips. Housekeeper Yang, did my father ask you to pick us up? Yes, young lady. Let's settle in at the mansion first, thank you. The group strolled along the wide streets of the county town, a constant stream of people passing by. Taverns, cosmetic shops, and vendors lined the streets, creating a bustling atmosphere filled with vibrant energy. It's truly bustling, unlike the county town itself. Su Mingyun's eyes lit up, as if he saw boundless business opportunities and was eager to expand his business in the county town. A quarter of an hour later, they arrived at the Yang residence, which immediately became bustling with activity. Yang Shichen, Madame Yang, and Wen Jing all came out to greet them. The mother and daughter were filled with tears upon seeing each other, and they hugged each other tightly. Mom, Mingwei and the others must have been so tired from the journey. Let's get them inside to rest, Yang Shichen said with a smile, then ordered his servants to go to the county government office to find Yang Zhao. Su Mingwei, holding Su Duan and holding Su Dezhao by the hand, came before Yang Shichen. Zhaoer, Wiener, this is uncle. Call him uncle. Su Dezhao bowed. Uncle. Su Duan, with his big, dark eyes, looked at them for a moment before saying in a sweet voice, Uncle, haha, so sweet. Yang Shichen smiled and rubbed their heads. Madame Yang also came over, looking at her grandson. Call me grandma, grandma, this is my aunt, and, let's all go inside quickly, Wen Jing said with a chuckle. Mingyun, did you bring any gifts this time? Yang Shichen began to chat with Su Mingyun. Of course there are. The guards unloaded several jars of fine wine from the carriage and carried them inside. The family chatted in the hall. Yang Shichen's son, Yang Rufen, dragged Su Dezhao around the Yang residence. Soon, Yang Zhao also walked into the hall with a smile. Su Mingwei and the others greeted each other one by one. Dad, this is Duan, Zhaoer, come to meet Grandpa. Grandpa, Yang Zhao picked up Su Dezhao, pinched his cheek, and laughed. He's my good grandson, Grandpa. I want to hold him too. Okay, together, Yang Zhao picked up Yang Rufang with his other hand, and both of them were amused and laughed non-stop. After a long while, he put him down. Mingwei, how many days do you plan to stay in the county town? Father-in-law, my son-in-law is now the head of the family. I will stay in the county town for 3 or 4 days at most. The same goes for Yuan. The family affairs are complicated and he needs to go back as soon as possible to deal with them. Is your father helping to manage it now? I asked my father for help before I came, then why are you in such a hurry? I don't know your father's ability. Even if you go back in a month or 2, nothing will happen to your Su family. Maybe it will even reach a higher level. Wen Jing was slightly surprised when he heard this. He never thought that Yang Zhao valued the old head of the Su family so much. Su Mingyan also smiled and said, "Father is old, after all. He hasn't been involved in household affairs for a few years now. He's been tending to the flowers and plants and practicing martial arts to keep fit. Haha, I'm not much different from him. When you say your father is old, doesn't that mean I'm also old and senile? And can live out my days at home?" Wen Jing said with a hint of disdain, "Father, Patriarch Su is not a congenital warrior like you. He's in his prime now. For some ordinary people in their 40s or 50s, they are indeed quite old." Su Mingwei and Su Mingyan said nothing, but Yang Zhao's eyelids lowered slightly, his black pupils shrinking slightly, and his facial features suddenly became sharp. "If you don't know, don't say anything. What right do you have to butt in, Father? Ginger didn't mean that," Yang Shicheng said hurriedly. "Uncle Yang, it's just a family chat. Why bother with so much? Even if my father were listening, he wouldn't care." Su Mingyan acted as a peacemaker. Yang Zhao sighed. "Yes, he is indeed like that. Let's stop here for today. Go and rest first. Later, let Changer take you to the county town for a tour. As for Zhao's matter, I will discuss it with the clan. Thank you, father-in-law." Uncle Yang, Yang Zhao and the others stood up and left. Wen Jing's eyes suddenly gleamed coldly, and the displeasure spread from the corners of her eyes, instantly dyeing her autumn water pupils. "Husband, what's wrong with father? He actually scolded me in public because of a person from a remote and small clan. It makes me feel very chilled." Chapter 67, Meeting an Old Friend. The hall was now empty. Yang Shicheng hugged her and whispered to comfort her, "Uncle Su is a good friend of Dad. He admires and respects him very much, and so do I. You told me this. To be able to develop an ordinary commoner's family into a prominent family in a small county in just over a decade, his talent and wisdom are indeed rare. But after all, commoners are not like us disciples of noble families who practice martial arts since childhood. Ordinary commoners will look old when they are 40 or 50 years old, and most of them will not live past 60. Am I wrong?" Yang Shicheng laughed. "You haven't seen it. How can you guess casually? If you had seen it, you would know what kind of person Uncle Su is." Yang Shicheng did not continue the topic. "Change your clothes later and go for a walk on the street with my sister and brother-in-law. I'm not in the mood. I have to accompany Fenger to study and practice calligraphy at home. It's up to you." Yang Shicheng shook his head and smiled bitterly. "Brother-in-law, Mingyan, is there anything you'd like to go?" At the gate of the Yang residence, Yang Shicheng watched them, Su Duan in his arms, a faint smile playing on his lips. "Then let's go see the rouge shops, wineries, and restaurants in the county town. What's the difference between them and those in my own town? Mingyan, you really never forget your own business. But that's all right. It'll be noon soon, so it's time to find a place to eat and drink." He turned to Su Dezhao and said with a smile, "Zhao, if you want anything to eat, tell your uncle. I'll grant anything your father wouldn't normally allow." "Thank you, uncle. Zhao doesn't want anything. If I did, I'd buy it myself." With that, he pulled out his exquisite purse and showed him the few pieces of silver inside. Altogether, they weighed about 7 or 8 taels. "Wow, that's quite a lot." Yang Shicheng turned to look at Yang Ronghu. "This needlework, you did it, right?" "I recognized it right away." Yang Ronghu smiled faintly and nodded slightly. Afterwards, they went to the rouge shop, then to the winery, and finally to the restaurant for lunch. Who would have thought that they would run into an old acquaintance whom they hadn't seen for a long time? Chang Haowen, Su Mingyan, and Su Mingwei, why did you two brothers come to the county city? Chang Haowen suddenly spoke, which surprised both of them. "Uncle Chang, do you know him, uncle?" Su Mingyan looked surprised. Chang Haowen should be only a few years older than Yang Shicheng. Yang Shicheng explained, "He is of the same generation as my father. The Chang family is in the county city, but it is much stronger than my Yang family." "Nephew Yang, you are joking. Your Yang family is in its heyday. Your father has been appointed as the county lieutenant, and you married the daughter of the Wen family. I am afraid that my Chang family is no match for you. By the way, why did you two come to the county city?" Chang Haowen changed the subject. Yang Shicheng smiled and said, "Mingwei is my brother-in-law, and these are his 2 sons. They came to visit us in the county town together." "I see. Enjoy your meal. I'll be leaving first." Chang Haowen left the restaurant without further ado. Yang Shicheng was curious about how the Su Mingwei brothers knew Chang Haowen, so he asked briefly, Su Mingyan said they met by chance in Qingjiang County and hadn't expected him to be from the Chang family in the county town. I heard the prefect of the county town is surnamed Chang. Yang Shichen nodded. The Chang family has been in the county town longer than my family, and we once intermarried. But as competition grew, it became less about superficiality and a tangible exchange of interests. He looked at Su Dezhao, who was gnawing on a chicken drumstick, and asked with a smile, "Is it delicious, Zhao? Delicious? How is it compared to yours?" "It's not as good, but it's pretty much the same. The only difference is that the dishes aren't as varied as yours, Zhao. Don't talk nonsense, brother-in-law. Children's words are the truth." Yang Shichen laughed. "After we finish eating, I'll take you somewhere else to explore." Chang Haowen had been visiting Su Mingyan for drinks and conversations for the past 2 days, seemingly intent on winning him over. Su Mingyan neither agreed nor refused, fearing retaliation from the Chang family, so he simply stalled. Even if they did want to interact, they would do so in secret, privately. 2 days later, Su Mingwei's family, along with Su Mingyan, accompanied Yang Zhao and Yang Shichen to the Yang family's ancestral home. The Yang family's ancestral home had always been the home of the head of the family and the various elders. After marriages, members of the direct line of the family rarely stayed there, establishing their own residences. The Yang family's patriarch and a number of the Yang family elders were all in the meeting hall. Yang Zhao greets the head of the family, and the elders, Yang Shichen, Su Mingwei, Su Mingyan, and the others followed suit, bowing. In the hall, paved with blue bricks, the air seemed to be clenched by invisible hands. The 8 vermilion lacquered pillars were carved with the heads of Bayan beasts, their eyes seemingly gazing at the crowd. The head of the Yang family was Yang Zhao's cousin, the eldest son of his great-uncle's lineage. He was now in his early 50s and had reached the early grandmaster stage, but judging by his dark hair, he was at the peak of his powers. Of the dozen or so elders, the top 6 were also grandmasters, and the rest had reached the innate perfection stage. A sense of oppression washed over him, and Su Mingwei sighed inwardly, as expected of a prominent family in the county city. "Their heritage is so profound that my Su family might need 20 or 30 years to catch up. I'm afraid there are quite a few innate warriors among the younger generation of the Yang family." This reminded him of the Chang family, a prominent family in the county city that could surpass the Yang family. What kind of heritage must they possess? No need for formalities, we're all family. After a pause, the Yang family patriarch looked at Su Duan, held in Yang Ronghua's arms, and Su Dezhao, standing beside Su Mingwei, and smiled slightly. "They must be the brothers Duan and Dezhao, right? They truly are descendants of my Yang family. Though young, they already display remarkable bearing. Let's test their Yang bloodline." A servant standing in the corner held a reddish-black lacquered wooden tray, upon which rested a pigeon egg-sized stone. "Let me do it." A gray-haired elder stood up, took the testing stone, and approached Su Mingwei and the others. He first tested Su Dezhao's. Although Yang Zhao had informed them of the results beforehand, seeing them with their own eyes was still a shock. The gray-haired elder's eyes, reflecting the bright red glow of the test stone, were filled with joy. The other elders also expressed surprise. The great elder stroked his beard, a stern smile on his face. "Our Yang family hasn't had such a pure bloodline in the last 2 generations. Shehu and the others are far behind. Let's see the other child." "Yes, great elder." The gray-haired elder took Su Duan's hand again, took a drop of blood, and dripped it onto the test stone. The red color reached a deep crimson, even darker than Su Dezhao's. Even the Yang family had stood up, moved. The other elders gathered around, staring at Su Duan as if he were a treasure. Yang Zhao and Yang Shichen, father and son, were deeply shocked. They hadn't expected that Su Mingwei and Yang Ronghua's children would both have such pure Yang blood, each one thicker than the last. Su Mingwei watched with a hint of displeasure. Because of their gaze, he felt as if he were looking at a piece of merchandise. "Not bad," the Yang family head praised with a smile, saying to Yang Zhao, "My cousin, you have 2 wonderful grandsons, with such potential, we must not waste it. Both of them can learn the martial arts inherited from our Yang family." Upon hearing this, Su Mingwei's unhappiness dissipated a lot. He immediately bowed and said, "Thank you, Yang family head, for your kindness." The Yang family head nodded slightly, his eyes shimmering with emotion. Then he said, "Since my nephew agrees, how about letting them stay in the county city for a while?" Chapter 68 Competition. Stay in the county town? How long? Su Mingwei's brow furrowed slightly at this, his pupils shrinking slightly. His black pupils shrank as if pinched by invisible fingers, their original outline suddenly becoming sharp. The path of martial arts is difficult, so the longer the better, the Yang family head said calmly. Don't worry, nephew. Our Yang family will certainly send masters to teach, using the finest medicinal and culinary resources. We won't treat them poorly just because they're relatives. If you reach the innate threshold, we'll also provide the corresponding qi-inducing pills. Qi-inducing pills? Do you really think our Su family needs them? Su Mingwei grumbled inwardly. In 2 years, when my father develops the formula, he'll have as many as you want. Why would he have to depend on others like you do, Master Yang? That's not necessary. Our Su family will certainly not treat our own children poorly in martial arts training, so you don't want to. The Yang family head's voice suddenly turned cold, and even the air around them seemed to freeze, almost suffocating. Seeing this, Yang Zhao immediately stepped forward, acting as a peacemaker. He smiled and said, Master, my son-in-law only has 2 sons. It's a bit unkind of you to have them both stay in the county town, away from their parents. After all, he's also the head of the Su family. The Yang family's head turned to Yang Zhao. Cousin, you have a point. What do you think? I mean, well, they want to pass on the martial arts tradition, so I readily agreed. Helping them train is also for the good of the Su family. Could it be that their martial arts training surpasses our Yang family's? Of course not. Although Yang Zhao was optimistic about the Su family and believed it had the potential to rival the Yang family, he didn't believe its current martial arts resources and training were superior to the Yang family's. He also guessed what his cousin meant. He wanted one of the 2 children to remain with the Yang family. He wanted to train him as a future top martial artist. It was common for large families to recruit martial arts talents for their own use. He looked around. Perhaps only his family was kept in the dark among the Yang family members present. Su Mingwei was about to say something, but was stopped by Su Mingyan. The 2 exchanged glances, Su Mingyan's eyes grave, and he shook his head. In terms of grasping people's hearts, Su Mingwei was not as good as his younger brother. Yang Zhao saw the clue, and Su Mingyan naturally noticed it too. Suddenly, he bowed to the Yang family head and said, if the Yang family head is willing to help my Su family train their children, then my Su family is naturally willing. But as Uncle Yang Zhao said, my eldest brother is the head of the Su family after all. While my Su family can't compare to the Yang family, handing over both children to the Yang family would be a laughingstock. Any other aristocratic family would find it difficult to agree. How about just one? How about Dezhao? He's the eldest grandson of my Su family. Let him stay in the county capital and be trained by the Yang family. He can return to my Su family when he reaches adulthood. The Yang family head narrowed his eyes as he looked at Su Mingyan, tapping his knuckles lightly on the coffee table, a dong-dong sound echoing through the hall. Su Mingyan was a man of great tact and thoughtfulness. He had long guessed that the Yang family wanted one child and had already determined that it would be the young Su Duan. Since he's the eldest grandson, how can our Yang family be so unkind? Why not Duan? I think he'd be a good fit for our family. After hearing these words, Su Mingwei and his wife understood. They exchanged glances, anger in their eyes, but they dared not show it. Su Mingwei believed that since Su Mingyan had spoken, he was sure he could pull it off. A business genius, he never lost a negotiation. Let's go with Dezhao. He's 6 years old enough to learn martial arts. The Yang family patriarch remained silent. At this point, Su Mingyan changed the subject, adding, of course, if Patriarch Yang feels Duan would be a good fit, that's fine. But he's still young. Why not wait 5 or 6 years before returning to our Su family to pick him up? Are you trying to say that our vast Yang family can't care for a child? The 7th elder said in a stern voice. This elder is joking. Do you want my sister-in-law to return to her parents' home to take care of Duan? Or do all children in the Yang family have their own mothers? Mingyan, how can you be so rude? Su Mingwei suddenly scolded. How could the Yang family bear to separate their youngest son from his mother? The Yang family head frowned slightly and glanced at the 7th elder with displeasure. The 7th elder immediately fell silent. Yang Zhao also said, Head, I think Mingyan's idea is feasible. Wiener is still too young. Let him stay with Rongho for a few more years. The Yang family head remained silent. The atmosphere in the hall grew increasingly depressing. The elders looked at the Yang family head, waiting for him to speak. After a long while, just as he was about to speak, Su Mingyan spoke again. Since we're at a stalemate, Why not try a different approach? Oh, what approach? Of course, my Su family can't match the Yang family's martial arts resources and training, but my eldest brother is a martial arts genius rarely seen in a century. If someone of the same age in the Yang family surpasses my eldest brother, then my Su family has nothing to say, of course. If my eldest brother manages to win by a single move, we can discuss this matter in 6 years, okay? Several of the elders look disdainful. Even if a martial arts genius from a small family reaches the Qianyuan realm, how far can he advance in just a few years? Let's compete. I'll show you the true genius of my Yang family. The Yang family patriarch pondered for a moment. He had heard that Su Mingwei was 25 this year, and the Yang family did have someone who was suitable. Yang Shidao, who achieved Qianyuan at 18, was now 25. He had recently broken through to the late Qianyuan stage and was expected to reach the perfect Qianyuan realm by 30. However, his bloodline concentration was far inferior to that of the Su Dezhao brothers. More than half of this achievement is the result of the Yang family's resources being allocated to them. If Su Dezhao or Su Duan were in their place, the Yang family could fully cultivate them and even produce a 25 or 26-year-old Qianyuan perfectionist. The Yang family had sized Su Mingwei up and down. Ultimately, he agreed. Beyond the bet, this battle was also about the Yang family's reputation. This patriarch agrees to your promise. I hope you won't regret it later. The Yang family had glanced at Su Mingwei and said calmly, "Seventh elder, go and fetch Shidao." "Yes, patriarch, let's wait outside." Taking advantage of this moment, Su Mingwei leaned close to Su Mingwei's ear and whispered, "Brother, when we fight, show weakness first. Once you understand your opponent's strength, then defeat them by a narrow margin." Why? Su Mingwei was filled with resentment, eager to vent it on the Yang family members who would appear soon. "I'm afraid he has other plans. We might be able to rely on your force to defeat him in another round. Once that's settled, we'll return to King Jiang today." Su Mingwei nodded slightly. He trusted Su Mingwei's assessment of the situation. A moment later, a young man flanked the seventh elder. Dressed in loose, dark-colored martial arts uniform, he approached the Yang family patriarch with swift steps. "Shidao, please don't bring shame upon our Yang family." "Yes, patriarch." With that, Yang Shidao approached Su Mingwei. Su Mingwei tactfully stepped aside, joining Yang Zhao, Yang Ronghua, and the others. The two stood 3 meters apart, their gazes like swords tempered in a cold pond, their gazes clashed like the sound of daggers. Su Mingwei on his left, his azure robe fluttering, Yang Shidao on his right, his dark robes heavy and imposing. Their auras were unwavering, yet their momentum was already intertwined. Please read, vote, and support. I'll post another chapter tonight as compensation. And please don't blame me, fellow Taoists. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69 Marriage? You strike first, or I'm afraid you won't be able to withstand even 3 of my moves. Yang Shidao's words were sharp, but his eyes were fixed on the other man, daring not to show any contempt. That's hard to say, but since you're so polite, I'll respectfully obey. Su Mingwei was now at the peak of the late Qianyuan stage, and even against a martial arts master at the peak of the Qianyuan stage, he could defeat him. Suddenly, his feet struck the ground like an elephant's foot shaking a mountain, and the Qianyuan ki surged through his body like a dragon soaring into the abyss. His left palm formed a dragon claw, clasping at the Shiatu acupoint, and his right fist, an elephant trunk hammer, struck Yang Shidao's abdomen. Seeing this, Yang Shidao did not avoid but advanced, his palms red as branding iron, resisting the dragon and elephant's force. Bang! The bluestone slabs cracked at the collision. Late Qianyuan, the two of them each stepped back a few steps and stood still. Yang Shidao looked at Su Mingwei in surprise and said, "Late Qianyuan, he was not the only one." The Yang family head, the elders, and Yang Zhao and his men were all shocked. Su Dezhao was excited and shouted, "Come on, Dad." Yang Shichen turned his head and looked at his sister in surprise. "Sister, when did Mingwei reach the late Qianyuan?" Yang Rongho smiled and shook her head. "I never ask about my husband's martial arts. Maybe Yuan knows better." Su Mingwei spread his hands. I'm busy with a family business all day and travel all day, so I don't know much about it." On the other side, the great elder whispered to the Yang family head, "This child is no ordinary man. He truly possesses remarkable talent. Ronghu has 2 sons, both of whom possess pure bloodlines. Perhaps this is due to his reasons." "Great elder, are you saying that the Su family also has a special bloodline? Perhaps we could marry a daughter of the Su family and observe their descendants, and everything would become clear." Upon hearing this, the Yang family head paused for a moment before adding, "I've heard Yang Zhao mention that the previous head of the Su family had 5 sons, one of whom was a daughter." The great elder said nothing further, his gaze returning to the 2 men on the field. In no time, Su Mingwei and Yang Shidao exchanged 20 or 30 moves, each evenly matched. Searing energies, forming a heat wave, pushed Yang Zhao and the others back 3 feet. Instantly, a massive crimson palm print formed. Su Mingwei countered with the Dragon Elephant Vajra Fist, described in the Xianshan Dragon Elephant art. His entire arm seemed coated in gold. Innate ki surged from the meridians of his arm, enveloping his fist and forming a golden fist print. The clash of fists and palms unleashed another violent gust of wind, blowing the rubble beneath his feet into all directions. This would save the effort of those cleaning up afterwards. "Break it!" Suddenly, the golden fist print shattered the red palm print, and the raging ki sent Yang Shidao flying. A green figure swooped in. Su Mingwei's fingers, like a diamond lock, clasped Yang Shidao's wrist and, with a sudden force, bound him to his back. He said, "If I push any harder, your arm will break. Even if it can be healed, it will probably take a month or 2. You?" Yang Shidao's eyes blazed with rage. He was about to strike back with his free hand, but the Yang family patriarch stopped him, saying, "Enough, Shidao. You've already lost. There's no need to fight again, patriarch." "I haven't lost yet," Yang Shidao said unconvinced. "His innate Xiangqi is richer than yours, and he's clearly reached the late innate stage before you. If you want to turn this around, you'd better practice hard and fight again in the future." Yang Shidao looked up, seeing the Yang family patriarch's expression, and immediately bowed his head. "Yes, patriarch." Su Mingwei also released his hand. "Excellent, my brother-in-law," Yang Shichen praised with a smile. Su Mingwei smiled faintly and walked over to Yang Ronghu. "Father, you're so amazing." Su Dezhao looked up at Su Mingwei, his eyes filled with admiration. At this moment, Yang Zhao approached the Yang family patriarch, clasped his fists, and said, "Patriarch, Mingwei is slightly better. So, let's stick to what we agreed on and talk again in 6 years." The Yang family patriarch looked at Yang Zhao with a hint of dissatisfaction. His cousin was so treacherous, seeing through the family's plan and even supporting the Su family, which disappointed him. But he also knew that Yang Zhao might not approve of the Yang family's move today, so he didn't inform them in advance. Who would have thought that this young man from the Su family would ruin everything? As a prominent family in the county, they naturally possessed the bearing of a great aristocratic family. His eyes swept over the brothers Su Mingwei and Su Mingyan, and he thought to himself, "The Su family is truly overflowing with talent, and my cousin has excellent judgment. Give the Su family 100 years, and perhaps there's a chance they'll catch up to our Yang family." After a pause, he returned his gaze to Yang Zhao and said calmly, "Since my cousin is interceding for us, then so be it." A smile crossed Yang Zhao's face, and he bowed again, saying, "Thank you, patriarch. I'll take Mingwei and the others back." Wait a minute, Yang Zhao had just turned around when, upon hearing this, he turned back again, looking over in surprise. "Is there anything else patriarch can do for you?" "Before, I somewhat underestimated the Su family, but what you say is true. The Su family does have extraordinary potential and could be a powerful asset to our Yang family in the future. Since the patriarch of the Su family is here, how about a further marriage between the Yang and Su families?" "A further marriage?" Yang Zhao was slightly taken aback. Su Mingwei and Su Mingyan exchanged glances, sensing something was amiss. This is a case of one plan failing, another one coming up. Aside from Yang Zhao's family, they really don't want to have anything to do with the Yang family anymore. As for the so-called 6-year agreement, it's nothing more than a delay. After returning, even if the two of them can't do anything, they are convinced that Su Chuan will find a way to stop it. "What do you think of Shidao?" asked the head of the Yang family. "My nephew Shidao is the best of his generation and the most diligent in martial arts training. He trains in the coldest days of winter and the hottest days of summer without interruption. Few people in the county can match him." "Yes, He is devoted to martial arts, which is why he has not married yet. Yang Zhao immediately understood and blurted out, the head of the family wants Shidao to marry a woman from the Su family. Isn't it normal for aristocratic families to marry each other? If the relationship between the two families can be closer, my Yang family will definitely do its best to help the Su family develop in the county city in the future. Yang Zhao was silent. But Su Mingwei said, Master Yang, it's not that I don't want to, but my sister is still young. Although I am the master of the Su family, my father is still alive, so it is not my turn as the eldest brother to decide Zuji's marriage. Young? The master of the Yang family looked at Yang Zhao. She is not even 15 yet, Yang Zhao said. He's not young anymore, old enough to get married. Su Mingyan also bowed and said, Master Yang, my eldest brother is not making excuses. Judging from Brother Shidao's performance just now, even in the county town, I'm afraid there are countless noble ladies willing to marry him. But my brothers and sisters' marriages are all decided by my father, so my eldest brother has no such authority. Is that really so, Master? I am willing to testify to this. My younger brother Nachuan's word is indeed law in the Su family. Moreover, parents' orders and matchmakers' words are the moral code. If parents are dead, it is the eldest brother who makes the decision. Seeing their hesitation, the master of the Yang family grew dissatisfied. Then 1 year from now, when she turns 16. Most women from noble families marry at this age, Su Mingyan continued. My younger sister comes from the countryside and has been mischievous since she was a child. I'm afraid it will take 6 years for her to mature enough to be a match for Brother Shidao. I hope Master Yang will forgive me. Upon hearing this, Yang Zhao looked at Su Mingyan with surprise and confusion. Oh my god, another 6-year agreement? Aren't you afraid of angering my cousin? At this moment, he didn't even dare to look at his cousin's face, as he knew it must be as dark as charcoal. Chapter 70 The Patriarch of the Yang Family. Marriage is a matter of mutual consent. Su Mingyan seemed oblivious to the Yang family patriarch's expression, then continued, if we really force it, even if my eldest brother and I agree, my father will not allow it. Given my father's temper, he'll probably let my sister into her own life rather than fulfill anyone else's wish. If you, Master Yang, agree to discuss marriage with my sister in 6 years, my eldest brother and I are confident we can convince my father. Soft tactics didn't work, so Su Mingyan immediately took a hard line. In negotiations, a combination of hard and soft tactics was the best strategy. It was also intended to intimidate the other party. Su Mingyan knew what the other party wanted, but he didn't know the Su family's background. 6 years was but a fleeting moment, but for the Su family, it was enough to change everything. The Yang family patriarch remained silent, looking at Su Mingyan. He saw the determination in his eyes, not one to yield easily. After a moment's hesitation, he recalled the previous contest and said, it's not impossible to get this patriarch to agree. Since you've already proposed the conditions for the contest, why not have another one? If my nephew Mingwei still wins, then I'll obey you. Otherwise, in a year, my Yang family will come to your Su family to welcome the bride. Do you dare to agree? As expected, he jumped in. The previous contest was just a trap set by Su Mingyan. His tone was tough, just to make him take the initiative to ask for another contest. Su Mingyan would naturally not agree so readily, and shook his head and said, if a grandmaster elder in his 70s or 80s comes out of your Yang family, how can my elder brother be his opponent? My Yang family is also a big family in the county city. How can we be so shameless? Of course he is of the same generation as your elder brother, really. After Su Mingyan pondered, he turned to look at Su Mingwei and blinked. Brother, what do you think? As long as they are of the same generation, I am not afraid. You are indeed a straightforward person. Then it is agreed upon. The head of the Yang family's eyes moved, and a hint of cunning flashed across his eyes. Shigen, why don't you have a sparring match with nephew Mingwei? A burly middle-aged man stepped out from among the elders and said with a faint smile, no problem, father. Yang Zhao immediately said, Patriarch, Shigen is 17 or 18 years older than Mingwei. That's true, but the competition only applies to peers, not age limits. Just tell me, is Shigen your nephew? Is he of the same generation as your sons Shichen and Mingwei? Yes, Yang Zhao had to admit. Su Mingwei suddenly stepped out and raised a hand to stop Yang Zhao from defending him. Thank you for your concern, father-in-law. I'll leave the rest to you, your son-in-law. After all, this is my Su family's business, and we can handle it ourselves. Cousin, you're a sensible son-in-law. Then let's begin. With that, the others withdrew. Yang Shigang immediately raised his hand and condensed a crimson key palm print, its power several times stronger than Yang Shidao's previous one. Innate perfection? As expected, even in the Yang family, young grandmasters aren't easily cultivated. Su Mingwei took a deep breath, gazed upon the crimson palm print, clenched his fist, and his knuckles crackled like firecrackers. He possessed the peak Xiangqi of the late Xiantian realm, a natural divine power. Everything was concentrated in this single punch. The dazzling golden light converged, a dark golden hue enveloping his fist. Seeing the crimson palm print approaching, Su Mingwei immediately launched a punch. This punch had the power to unstoppable force. Shatter, with a chorus of voices, Yang Shigang's concentrated crimson palm print was also shattered by the punch. The immense force sent him flying, sending him plummeting to the ground. Everyone was speechless, staring at Su Mingwei in disbelief. The Yang family patriarch exclaimed, "Are you at the consummation of the Xiantian realm, late Xiantian realm?" Su Mingwei said calmly, "Patriarch Yang, this battle is my victory, isn't it?" The Yang family patriarch's face was ashen, and he was about to erupt in rage when a voice suddenly rang out. "It truly is divine power, and a gift from martial arts. You've triumphed." Seeing the arrival of this square-faced, dignified figure, his hair and beard all white, the Yang family patriarch was immediately taken aback and exclaimed, "Father, old patriarch." The other elders and guards also spoke up. The arrival was none other than Yang Wenfeng, the former patriarch and current county magistrate. Our Yang family always keeps its word. Let's discuss these two matters in 6 years. Su Mingwei and Su Mingyan exchanged a glance, both relieved. Then, "Uncle, we'll be leaving now." Yang Zhao bowed respectfully. Just as the old patriarch, Su Chuan, held the final word in the Su family, so too did Yang Wenfeng. After they left, Yang Wenfeng glanced at the Yang family patriarch. "Your vision truly cannot compare to Yang Zhao's. If you weren't my son, I wouldn't have chosen you to succeed him as patriarch." "Father, go back to your study and reflect on the past." The Yang family patriarch, who had flaunted his power before Su Mingwei and the others, was powerless against his own father and could only obediently return to his study. "You all may disperse as well." The elders bowed and departed, leaving only Yang Wenfeng and the great elder. The great elder stepped forward and asked in surprise, "Wenfeng, didn't you agree to train the Su family as our direct descendants?" "Why now?" Yang Wenfeng smiled faintly. "Third uncle, this is a different time. If the way of an aristocratic family truly relies on cunning and plunder, can it really last? How many have failed to eradicate the entire clan after just a few decades? The core of the development of an aristocratic family is to accumulate its own foundation and then practice the art of strategy." The great elder pondered this thought carefully. Then Yang Wenfeng added, "Earlier, although I heard about the Su family from Yang Zhao, I thought it was just a small family with some potential. But today's incident has made me realize the potential of the Su family. If we are enemies, we must eradicate them. If not, it is best to recruit them as an aid. Otherwise, we should keep our distance. The Su family is not worthy of being our Yang family's enemy," the great elder said with a hint of arrogance. "Yes, the Yang family has no intention of being their enemy, so it would be best to offer them assistance." However, Yang Wenfeng hesitated. "Never mind, let's leave it this way for now. We'll have Yang Zhao help mediate later." Yang Wenfeng said no more, and the great elder soon left. The Yang family's actions today were simply to strengthen their family's foundation. In their eyes, recruiting useful talent was commonplace. Even the Su family felt the same way. Unfortunately, the Su family was no ordinary family. Even at their current weakness, they didn't care about training others, let alone seeking refuge. The so-called Yang family martial arts inheritance was even less of a concern. Their main purpose in the county capital was to visit relatives. If the Yang family promised to pass on their martial arts, the Su family would accept it and remember the favor. If not, they would leave after their visit. It was a pity that the Yang family was too arrogant, accustomed to being superior, which led to the current conflict. However, it was far from being mortal enemies. Even though the Yang and Chang families had been clashing in the county capital for centuries, each suffering casualties at the hands of the other, it had never reached this level. Each side simply sought to completely dominate the other and weaken its power. Let alone a small, remote clan with no ties beyond a few in-laws. A life and death rivalry, eradicating the entire family? Perhaps no family within the county capital would take them seriously. Had he not witnessed Su Mingyian's masterful rhetoric today, and had not witnessed Su Mingyi's 2 duels with the Yang family, each of which ended in a decisive manner, Yang Wenfeng would never have grasped the unfathomable potential of the Su family. Yang Zhao has been acquainted with the Su family for many years, yet he's probably only realized less than 1/10 of their potential. It was precisely for this reason that Yang Wenfeng finally intervened, calling a halt to the conflict and preventing further hostility between the 2 families. He suspected the Su family members were frightened and would leave today. He immediately sent for Yang Shihu. Go and deliver this to the Su family. Make sure it arrives before they leave, grandfather. This, Yang Shihu asked, puzzled, as he took the wooden box. Just go. Don't ask so many questions. Yes, Yang Shihu bowed and headed to Yang Zhao's residence. Alice, this huge family can't survive without me. When will our Yang family produce a talented child? Why not let Yang Zhao be the head of the family? Yang Wenfeng pondered, his hands clasped behind his back, and walked back to his study. Chapter 71 Invisible Confrontation. Su Mingyi and the others returned to Yang Zhao's residence and immediately took their leave. My dear son-in-law, this is not my wish. I was unaware of what happened today, Yang Zhao said, his face showing embarrassment. Su Mingyi nodded, don't worry, father-in-law. You are you, and the Yang family is the Yang family. Yang Zhao opened his mouth to speak, but he didn't know how to begin. He knew that although Su Mingyi and the others had escaped danger today, the feud had already been forged. As for the future development of the relationship between the 2 families, whether it would become a tense situation or a reconciliation, it all depended on the choices of both parties. Qianyuan, what did you say earlier, Uncle Yang? Let's not discuss this for now. Su Mingyi had previously discussed with Yang Zhao his intention to expand some of the Su family's industries to the county capital, but both Su Mingyi and Su Mingyi were now filled with anger towards the Yang family. How could they choose to cooperate with them again? All right then, Yang Zhao said helplessly. After putting them in the carriage and about to depart, Yang Shihu arrived on horseback. Brother Mingyi, this is something my grandfather asked me to bring. I must deliver it to you, uncle. Yang Zhao was slightly surprised. Indeed, Yang Shihu nodded, then clasped his fists again and said, I beg you, Brother Mingyi and Brother Mingyi, not to blame me for what happened today. The Yang family is also full of factions. Okay, I'll go back and report now. Next time you come to the county city, I'll treat you well. With that, Yang Shihu hurried in and out, not giving Su Mingyi and the others a chance to refuse. Father-in-law, we're leaving now. Father, mother, and big brother, please take care of yourselves. It's best to return soon, so Brother Chuan doesn't worry. Everyone said goodbye, and a carriage, accompanied by several mounted sword-wielding guards, headed for the county city gates. After leaving the county city, Yang Ronghua, holding Su Duan, curiously asked, what did my great-uncle send you? Su Mingyi replied, big brother, open it and take a look. Su Mingyi glanced at them, nodded slightly, and then opened the wooden box. Inside was 2 martial arts tomes. It was one of the purposes of their trip, fire element's secret and innate fire virtue merit. Su Mingyi's pupils shrank slightly. Just by looking at these 2 martial arts books, he guessed most of what Yang Wenfeng meant. Brother, the Yang family is here to offer apology, Yang Ronghua said. They agreed to it themselves, so it's not really an apology, is it? HMPH, do you really think my Su family cares? Su Mingyi's eyes flashed with anger. I wish I could just tear them up. No, brother, Su Mingyi said with a faint smile. If we tear them up, our whole trip would be in vain. What's the point? Besides, accepting them doesn't mean we are going to cover this up. Besides, Zhao and Wiener could use them. I don't want to practice the Yang family's martial arts. Su Dezhao's childish voice echoed from the carriage. They were all defeated by father. I want to learn from him. Su Mingyi smiled and patted his head. Okay, learn the little dragon elephant kung fu from me. Our Zhao is ambitious, Su Mingyi praised. Dongxi village, Su clan. It's been 7 days. Shitao and the others should be back by now, right? Su Chuan woke up this morning and, after a moment's contemplation, decided to use the daily divination to check on them. Today's divination, Zhang. Today at 5 p.m., Su Mingyi's family and Su Mingyi will return home safely with the Yang family martial arts. At 5 p.m., and with the Yang family martial arts, Su Chuan was slightly surprised, having expected to return empty-handed. What happened? Never mind, they'll find out when they get home and ask. Su Chuan sighed softly, unexpectedly waking Bai Jing. Husband, what's wrong? Sighing so early in the morning? Are you worried? Bai Jing's eyelashes trembled slightly, like the first part of the morning mist. She wrapped her slender arms like spring ivy, tightly clasping Su Chuan's waist. As she rested her cheek on his shoulder, her long black hair fell like a waterfall. Su Chuan turned to glance at her and casually said, I'm just lamenting the hardships of an aristocratic family. It's so difficult to expect a family to survive for 10, 100, or even 1,000 generations, hundreds of generations. A smile dispelled the sleepiness. Bai Jing chuckled and said, Husband, aren't you worrying too much? What happens after 5 generations is beyond our consideration. Life lasts 100 years, and our descendants will have their own blessings. All we can do is accumulate more family assets and establish good family rules to pass on to future generations. Perhaps. Su Chuan didn't argue with her. 100 years? He wanted a family that would last for thousands of years, a long-lasting family. At 5 p.m., a carriage arrived at the gate of the Su family mansion, with 3 guards on each side. Su Chuan was already waiting at the door. Su Mingyan came down first. Seeing Su Chuan standing at the door, he was a little surprised and asked, Father. Su Dezhao came down and rushed into Su Chuan's arms, saying with a smile, Father, we're back. Zhaoer has missed you. After not seeing you for a few days, our Zhaoer has become so sweet. Su Chuan chuckled and then looked at Su Mingwei and his wife. Ronghua, you've been traveling so long. Take Zhaoer and Wiener back home to rest. Yes, Father. Yang Ronghua held Su Dezhao's hand, while Su Duan clung to her, refusing to be held by the maid. After they left, Su Chuan said again, You two, come with me to the study. Yes, Father. Wangxin courtyard. Study. Su Chuan sat down and said, Tell me, what happened in the county town? The 2 brothers exchanged a glance. Su Mingwei winked at Su Mingyan, and Su Mingyan finally began to slowly recount his experiences in the county town. After a long while, Father, that's about all. Su Mingwei also handed the wooden box in his hand to Su Chuan. Inside is the Yang family's inherited martial arts, sent by my father-in-law. Dong dong dong. Su Chuan tapped the desk lightly with his knuckles. The 2 of them, one was imposing in public, the other was smooth and tactful, but in front of Su Chuan, he was as obedient as a 200-pound child. Shitao, tell me your opinion first. How should my Su family treat a Yang family in the future? After a pause, Su Mingwei said, This trip to the county capital, I finally understand what it means to have a big fist and a big mouth. My Su family has always been avenging grudges. Yuan is right, courtesy is courtesy, grudges are grudges. If the Yang family really comes to ask for people in 6 years, I will make sure they never return. It seems that you are full of resentment. Su Chuan said lightly, then looked at Su Mingyan. Yuan, it's your turn. Su Mingyan said, Our situation with the Yang family today is somewhat similar to that with the Su family in the past. Oh, why do you say that? Isn't it the Wu family? Su Mingyan shook his head and said, The Wu family is different. They want to stop us because we are affecting the interests of their martial arts school. But we have our eldest brother, who is young and gifted, and Gu Yiping, the owner of the Dragon Elephant School. We are not afraid of them, whether in terms of wealth or martial arts. As for the Su family, they were the largest family in Dongxi when my father was young. They have set their eyes on the green jade pears that my father has worked so hard to cultivate. They want to take away our interests. As for buying them, I think they also take into account my father's reputation in Dongxi and his own family's reputation. The Yang family is the same. They want to recruit descendants of our Su family with good martial arts talent, and they also want Zhu Ji to marry into their family. However, they are both concerned about their own reputation, so they use the guise of cultivation and marriage to strengthen the foundation of their Yang family. My Su family was unable to shake the Su family at that time, and now we can't do anything to the Yang family. We can only endure and develop in a low-key manner. As for how to treat the Yang family, go on, Su Chuan said lightly. Don't interfere with each other. When you have the strength, you can give him a humiliation, but you shouldn't make enemies. Or rather, it's unnecessary. Su Chuan raised the corner of his mouth slightly, shook his head and laughed. Yuan, you are trying to guess what my father is thinking. Chapter 72 Su Mingwei's Growth. Father, is this really your idea? Su Mingwei looked at Su Chuan in surprise. Su Chuan nodded slightly. Why? The Yang family really went too far that day. Yuan, Tell your eldest brother that if he still can't figure it out, he should relinquish the position of patriarch." Su Mingwei looked at Su Mingyan, who said, "Brother, the Yang family is so arrogant because they've never taken our Su family seriously. It's like accidentally stepping on an ant. Would you care? Over the years, how many ordinary people have died at the hands of the 5 great families of King Jiang? And our Su family also recruits talent, but the difference is that we recruit ordinary people, while the Yang family wants to poach our Su family members directly. The Yang family thinks they are superior, thinking we should be like those ordinary people, grateful, but they underestimate our Su family's pride and potential. Any of the county's top families would probably be eager to send more people and form more marriages. The Yang family oppresses us, and our Su family refuses. While our Su family may have some resentment towards the Yang family, it's not hatred at all. Once hatred is established, it's a mortal enemy. The old patriarch of the Yang family sent me the Yang family's inherited martial arts. I originally thought it was just an apology and a gesture of goodwill, but it also shows his attitude. He deeply understands the potential of our Su family. Even if we are not a match for his Yang family now, we have the hope of being on par in the future. What do you think will happen if the Yang family takes its enemies seriously?" Su Mingwei seemed to have just woken up from a dream and said in a daze, "They will no longer care about their reputation or reputation. They will spare no effort to eradicate our Su family as much as possible." So, in addition to showing goodwill, the old patriarch of the Yang family is also demonstrating. If the 2 families can be on good terms, that's the best. If not, then at best, it's better to keep to themselves, Su Chuan said lightly. "How can you be the head of a noble family if you can't be a mediocre person? Shitao, you still have a long way to go. Of course, my Su family is different from ordinary families. No matter how much the Yang family overestimates us, they will not guess that we have no intention of competing with them. The way of our Su family has always been to point directly to the immortal way. We just need to do our best, and as time passes, families like the Yang and Chang families will naturally crawl to our feet." Su Mingwei sighed deeply, his face showing shame. "Father, I am ashamed of your teachings. The position of head of this family should be left to Qianyuan." Su Mingyan waved his hands repeatedly. "No, big brother, I have to control the family business and practice martial arts at the same time, and I don't have time to take care of the responsibilities of head of the family. Stay still for now. You are not stupid, you just lack experience." Su Chuan patted him on the shoulder and said, "Remember to think more and don't be swayed by emotions in the future. Remember that as the head of the Su family, you represent not only yourself, but also your brothers and sisters, wife and children, and thousands of servants of the Su family. Once you make the wrong decision, it may bring disaster to the entire family." After a pause, Su Chuan continued, "As for the person who will be the head of the family, we will talk about it after you have trained a suitable successor." "Yes, father," Su Mingwei nodded heavily. Shitao will never be so impulsive again. He was terrified at the thought of his own actions leading to a feud between the Su and Yang families, the downfall of the Su family and the destruction of its members. Suddenly, he felt a chill rising from his tailbone and piercing his skull, as if icy water were pouring down his head. If this were to happen, even 100 deaths would not be enough to atone for his sins, and even wiping out the entire Yang family would be futile. "This is a wake-up call for you," Su Chuan added. "Of course, martial prowess remains the Su family's top priority, father, we understand," Su Mingwei nodded. "Originally, after completing my innate 5 elements creation technique, I planned to follow you and pursue the immortal path. But this trip has made me realize the importance of strength. After this, I plan to cultivate the Grandmaster stage of the innate Dragon Elephant technique, and only after achieving that mastery will I pursue the immortal path. I will strive to cultivate both immortality and martial arts. I will strive to be the strongest among my peers." Su Chuan's pupils shrank. After a moment's hesitation, he looked up at Su Mingwei. Seeing the determination in his eyes, he nodded and said, "Since that's the case, father will quickly develop a Grandmaster's medicinal diet to assist you." "Thank you, father." In the past, Su Mingwei would have undoubtedly followed the path Su Chuan had chosen for him. Once his spiritual roots were complete and purified to true spiritual roots, he would have pursued the immortal path. However, the trip to the county city had led him to forge his own path. Practicing both immortal and martial arts simultaneously is possible, even if it's only at the foundation establishment stage or below. If Su Mingwei achieves perfection in both, he'll be nearly invincible in the key condensation stage. even rivaling the foundation establishment stage for a short period. As for the foundation establishment stage, we can only wait and see. There's no need to elaborate on the Yang family's affairs with your mother and your brothers and sisters. Just say everything went smoothly on this trip. Shitao, tell Rongho too. I understand, father. A moment later, the two left Su Chuan's study. Upon hearing Su Mingwei and his companions return, Su Mingshu immediately sought them out to inquire about the situation in the county capital. She had intended to follow them, but Su Chuan stopped her. Now, they were blocking the entrance to the Heartwind courtyard. Roar! Su Mingshu suddenly leaped out on her horse, Xiao Bei, startling both of them. Zuji, you're really getting naughty, Su Mingwei scowled. I've scared you before, big brother. Could it be that you are truly frightened this time? Zuji stuck out her tongue. Su Mingwei and Su Mingying emerged from Su Chuan's study, both preoccupied. That's why they were caught. Otherwise, with Su Mingwei's late-stage innate perception, he wouldn't have missed it. What do you want from us? Su Mingwei changed the subject. May I ask if your trip went smoothly? Su Mingwei and Su Mingying looked at each other, and Su Mingwei raised the rosewood box in his hand and said, What do you think? Brother is amazing. My Su family has gained another powerful martial art. Su Mingshu's eyes turned. By the way, brother, how is the county city? Is it prosperous? Take me there sometime, Su Mingwei said. Of course it is prosperous. The city is majestic, the streets are wide, and all walks of life are extremely prosperous. There are also many aristocratic families, which are arrogant. The 5 major families in Qingjiang would not even be considered a small fight in the county city. Su Mingshu's eyes flickered. Then when will you accompany your sister-in-law to her parents' home next time? Even if I want to go, I won't take you with me. Wait until you get father's consent. Speaking of father again, brother, you are using father to pressure me. Seeing that Su Mingshu was a little unhappy, Su Mingying quickly changed the subject and looked at the white tiger with red gold pupils and said, By the way, our Xiao Bei's eyes are becoming more and more human. He, second brother, Xiao Bei is now a demon beast, so his intelligence has naturally grown a lot. Su Mingshu's words startled the two. Demon beast. Su Mingshu patted the white tiger and said, Xiao Bei, call me big brother and second brother. Roar Su Mingwei and Su Mingyuan? Oh, right, big brother and second brother don't understand you, Xiao Bei. Both of them laughed out loud. At the same time, their inner depression dissipated a lot. Home is still the best. Su Mingwei and Su Mingying scrutinized the white tiger, seeing its golden eyes slashing like knives, revealing a hint of pride. Its tail curled like a whip, sweeping across the blue stone, sparking a few sparks. How did Xiao Bei suddenly become a demon beast? How come we didn't know? Su Mingwei asked. Father said that the fewer people who know, the better. Does that include me and your second brother? He, eldest and second brothers are of course no problem, but you didn't ask. Qianyuan and I are almost always with father, so we have few opportunities to meet you. That's right, I'll let you go this time. Su Mingying wanted to stroke the white tiger's head, but his hand stopped in midair, and he didn't dare to let it go. After all, it's a monster. As a result, he was despised by the white tiger, and his second brother was quite cowardly. Su Mingwei, on the other hand, was eager to have a monster white tiger as a mount. He looked at Su Mingshu on its back. Zuji is so talented, it's really a fantasy for the Yang family to want her to be a daughter-in-law, but who will father marry Zuji to in the future, after a while? Su Mingwei said again, Okay, don't be so complacent here. Xiao Bei is now of such a size that it is becoming less and less suitable to appear in the Su family mansion. Let it stay in the Bihantan as much as possible in the future. I know, big brother. Zuji nodded slightly. Chapter 73 Key and Blood Furnace, Key-inducing Pale Recipe. During dinner, the Su family gathered. Bai Jing asked about the trip to the county capital. Yang Rongho smiled and replied, Mother, everything went well. Are your parents all right? Everything is fine. My eldest brother now has a son, Yang Rufeng. That's good. It's one of your wishes. After a while, Su Mingwei looked at Su Chuan and said, Father, it's time for Zhao to practice martial arts. I'm busy with household affairs, so I don't think I'll have much free time. I'll leave him in your care to take him to Bihantan, just like Zuji and Yanyu. He'll stay by your side. Su Chuan nodded slightly and looked at Su Daxiao. Starting tomorrow, would you like to go to the mountains with Grandpa every day? Zhao agrees. Su Dezhao nodded, his voice like a chicken pecking at rice. The next day, the sky was already bright in the east, and the sky was slightly bright. The distant mountains looked like indigo, gradually tinged with a golden light. Su Mingshu took Su Dezhao on a white tiger and headed for Bahantan with Su Mingxin. Here, there are hundreds of acres of medicinal fields, and towering black iron fruit trees have grown immensely strong. The mountain breeze caresses the wind chimes hanging from the bamboo eaves, emitting a soothing, soul-purifying sound. Aunt Zuji, the air here seems even fresher than down the mountain, Su Dezhao said, turning and smiling. It's because your grandfather planted so many rare medicinal herbs, which have the effect of gathering some of the power of heaven and earth, so that's how it is. Grandfather is truly amazing. Su Chuan was already here. Su Mingshu carried Su Dezhao off the white tiger and went with Su Mingxin to pay their respects. The white tiger skillfully walked to the base of the black iron fruit tree and rested. It seemed like a habit. Zuji, you focus on your martial arts. Zhaoer can ask Yanyu to teach you when he finds time. Yes, father. Although Su Mingshu also wanted to experience the joy of being a teacher, she knew her martial arts progress was not as good as her brother Su Mingxin's. Not wanting to fall behind, he could only practice even harder. Yanyu, you help Zhaoer lay the foundation first. Once he's gotten into martial arts, let him practice on his own and give him some guidance when you have time. As for the rest, he'll have to find his own way and understand it. Yes, father. And you, Zhaoer, do you understand what grandfather is saying? Su Chuan looked at Su Dezhao and smiled slightly. It was inevitable that he would be more gentle with his eldest grandson. Grandfather, don't always treat Zhaoer like a child. Zhaoer is no longer a child. Hearing this, all three of them smiled. Not to mention Su Dezhao, even Su Mingshu and Su Mingxin were children in Su Chuan's eyes. Oh, then tell me, what did you understand from what grandfather just said? Fifth uncle introduced Zhaoer to martial arts, but the future Zhaoer can reach depends on his own diligent practice. Just like people, father is usually calm, but when faced with challenges, he can be aggressive. Second uncle is intelligent, Aunt Zuji is outgoing, and fifth uncle is aloof. Su Dezhao spoke slowly in a childish voice, which made the three of them's eyes light up. Hey, little Zhaoer, who are you calling outgoing? Zuji feigned anger and asked, what about your grandfather? Grandfather, he's calm and composed, as if nothing in the world can faze him. Little brat. You thought you could say something shocking, but you're just trying to flatter your grandfather. Zuji grinned. Zhaoer, that's not flattery, it's what's really in my heart. It's quite true. Su Mingxin grinned. Su Chuan patted Su Dezhao's head and said with a smile, as expected of the eldest grandson of the Su family, you will surely surpass your father in the future. In the 3 generations of the Su family, no one had yet been gifted with a natural destiny. But just now, Su Chuan had made the decision to bestow upon him the Qian blood furnace. Su Dezhao already possessed considerable martial arts talent, and even without this natural destiny, he would have made smooth progress with the Su family's current resources. But with a Qian blood furnace, he would surely reach even greater heights. For those like Su Mingyan and Su Mingshu, reaching innate perfection and transitioning to the immortal path is the best option. Continuing in the martial arts path, like Su Mingwei, would be a waste of time. Su Dezhao, however, might one day follow his father, cultivating both immortality and martial arts. After a while, Su Chuan led Su Dezhao into the bamboo hut. After a while, Su Dezhao emerged to practice martial arts with Su Mingxin in the western open space. Su Mingshu, on the other hand, practiced alone near the white tiger. Su Mingwei's martial arts training became increasingly diligent, rising before dawn and resting until midnight each day, though he also juggled family affairs. Fortunately, the Su family was well managed, and the servants respected and appreciated their masters. Therefore, there wasn't much to worry about. Most of the issues involved were whether there were enough workers to handle the busy farm work, whether children were of school age, whether those with good aptitude would receive martial arts training, and whether rewards would be given for meritorious service and punishments for faults. He simply agreed or disagreed, making the final decision. His subordinates would handle the rest. The same was true for Su Mingyan. Now, he no longer needed to travel constantly, and he could focus on making important decisions and steering the overall business direction. He and Su Chuan discussed expanding their business into the county town. The ultimate decision was to send several key industry figures to partner with the Chang family to open a branch. Having the Chang family as a protective umbrella naturally came at a significant cost to the Su family, so Su Mingyan decided to give them a 50% cut. This arrangement wasn't really intended to benefit the Su family, but rather to plant a stake in the county town and inquire about the movements of the major families. If anything truly concerned them, they would be alerted and prepared. Time flew by, and 2 months passed in the blink of an eye. Yang Ronghe became pregnant again. Su Mingshu and Su Mingyan both reached the peak of their acquired state. During this time, Su Mingyan secretly sent people to the county town to contact the Chang family and strike a partnership, offering to transfer half of all the properties in the county town to the Chang family. Recognizing the Su family's business prowess, the Chang family repeatedly assisted them, allowing these businesses to take root in the county town. Su Mingyan purchased 15 key-inducing pills from the Chang family, each costing 3,200 taels. Through Xiao Changyan's connections, he acquired 10 more for 3,500 taels. 5 of these were used by Su Chuan to study their medicinal properties, while the remaining 20 were distributed to Su Mingyan and Su Mingshu, helping them to comprehend the power of heaven and earth and achieve breakthroughs in their innate state. Drawing on his divinely endowed gift of Shenning's 100 herbs, Su Chuan was able to identify 7 out of 10 herbs when taking key-inducing pills. For the remainder, he deduced several substitute herbs based on the changing properties of the medicinal ingredients and the principle of the dominant, secondary, and auxiliary herbs. After 6 months of continuous experimentation with the dosages of various herbs, he arrived at a similar formula for key-inducing pills, which was even more potent than the original and required significantly less expensive ingredients. He then began cultivating medicinal fields and planting these herbs. Of course, Su Chuan never stopped practicing the innate 5 elements creation technique daily. While the key-inducing pills weren't as effective as true entry-level elixirs, regular use could significantly aid in reaching the innate realm. Taking them every 3 days could double one's cultivation speed. However, even the aristocratic families in the county couldn't afford such extravagance. Even with a recipe, without a skilled alchemist, the cost was considerable. For the Su family, each pill cost only a few dozen taels. The improved recipe reduced the price of the medicinal ingredients from over 1,000 taels to 400 or 500 taels. Su Chuan possessed exceptional talent in alchemy, producing 7 or 8 pills per furnace. This provided ample supplies for the cultivation of the family's Qianyuan warriors. Furthermore, the Su family sold a small number of key-inducing pills within their sphere of influence, selling them to the various wealthy families in the county for 4,000 taels each, rapidly amassing a significant fortune. The New Year's festival arrived in a flash. Su Mingwei achieved a breakthrough to the Qianyuan realm, perfecting his technique and completing his damaged spiritual roots. Like Su Chuan, he continued his training, aiming to elevate his spiritual roots to true spiritual roots. 2 months later, Su Mingshu achieved a breakthrough to the Qianyuan realm. A month later, Su Mingyan also achieved a breakthrough. With a vast supply of key-inducing pills, the two lived up to expectations. Thanks to the Su family's tireless efforts, dozens of the guards became first-rate warriors, and 7 or 8 reached the peak of the acquired realm, all of whom were utterly loyal to the Su family. The entire family relocated to Dongxi village. Chapter 74, Half a Lifelong Journey to Immortality. Wei Border. Dongxi Camp. Captain Su, here's your letter and the items you sent, thank you. Returning to his tent, Su Mingsun opened the letter and read through it, a smile playing on his face. I didn't expect Zuji and Yunyu to have both done it. It's a shame I haven't been able to return yet. He then found 4 black porcelain bottles hidden away in his bundle, opened one, and poured a pill into his palm. A quick sniff, and it's indeed a key-inducing pill, and it seems to be of very high quality. Su Mingsun had once received a reward from Zhejuan Hong and swallowed a key-inducing pill, so he was certain of it. 10 pills per bottle, 4 bottles. Has the family become rich? What happened in all those years I was away? Never mind. Why dwell on it? I guess my second brother has found some new way to make money, causing the family's wealth to soar, and he's now connected to the key-inducing pill business. Let me break through to the Qianyuan realm first, and I'll give the rest to Li Zhi and the others. Su Mingsun felt no burden. Naturally, one's own hard-earned possessions should be used by one's family first, with any surplus used to support other families. Giving up one's own opportunity to break through to the Qianyuan realm to help others would be foolish. However, only Li Zhi has reached the peak of the Qianyuan realm. Brother Dan Yu and cousin Bai Wei are only second-rate warriors. I hope they receive focused training after returning home, so they can potentially reach the peak of the Qianyuan realm. Su Mingxun gathered his belongings and then went out to inspect the mining area. After becoming Zhejuan Hong's personal guard, he felt a much easier life. He no longer had to leave early and return late like other miners. Regular inspections were sufficient. This gave him more time to cultivate. Over the past 6 months, several more pieces of black iron essence mother had been discovered in other mining areas. Su Mingxun had a premonition that the time to return home was approaching. The stars shifted, spring passed, and autumn arrived. Dongxi village, Baihantan. Su Chuan was in deep meditation that day when he suddenly felt a miraculous change in his body. His mind seemed to be guided, and he felt a sense of light and enlightenment. That day, Su Chuan sat alone in the Qinglu when he suddenly felt the 5 energies surge within him, a warm current rushing from his tailbone to his Baihu acupoint. Instantly, his mind became clear, his heart drawn by the heavens, and he felt a sense of light and a sense of being in the vastness of space, a profound and mysterious experience. My spiritual roots have been purified. Su Chuan opened his eyes, their eyes filled with ecstasy. Seizing this moment of wonder, Su Chuan immediately instructed Su Mingxun to retreat, and to guard the door, forbidding anyone from entering. Father, are you going to attain immortality? Su Chuan nodded slightly, then repeated his warning, remember, no one should disturb you. Qianyuan understands. Su Chuan immediately activated the secret techniques of the innate 5 elements creation technique, transforming his innate Zhangqi into mana. Upon learning of this, Su Mingxu, Su Mingwei, and Su Mingyin were all impressed and offered to protect Su Chuan. However, Su Mingxun refused. Big brother and second brother, you shoulder the family's responsibilities. Qianyuan will be the only one guarding here. As for fourth sister, please teach Zhao for the time being. That's fine. Qianyuan is quite powerful now, having reached the middle stage of the Qianyuan realm. This is also our Su family's territory, so there's no need to worry too much. Su Mingwei said this, and soon he and Su Mingyin descended the mountain. 5 days later, Su Chuan's Zhangqi was transformed into mana, becoming a cultivator at the peak of the 5th level of Qi training. This process is irreversible. Su Chuan's future is limited to the path of cultivation. However, there are also Qi and body training cultivators among the Immortals. If he has the opportunity to obtain the body training techniques, it is not impossible to cultivate both the magic and the body. After half a lifetime, I have finally embarked on the path of Qi training. Su Chuan opened the door to the bamboo house. Su Mingxun heard the movement and looked over with excitement. Father, you've emerged from seclusion. Thank you, Qianyuan, for protecting me these past few days. This is Qianyuan's duty. Father, not far away, Su Mingxu also arrived in front of Su Chuan, carrying the pitiful Su Dezhao in her arms. Grandfather, Su Dezhao politely bowed. Su Chuan picked him up and said with a smile, let's go, down the mountain. Don't worry the others. After embarking on the path of Qi training, Su Chuan could practice the immortal cultivation techniques and the spells of the eternal spring Guang, with the 2 major innate talents of Heaven Rewards Diligence, and Shennon's 100 Herbs. Su Chuan's practice of the eternal spring gong could rival the cultivation speed of cultivators gifted with earth spirit roots. Furthermore, Su Chuan considered adding the talent of 9 Palaces Dao Yan to his family. But he felt that since he was now focused on alchemy, he might not be able to be distracted. Of Shitao, Awen, Tantao, Zuji, and Qianyuan, only Qianyuan is suitable for the path of formation. After all, it would take another 20 years for the next generation to grow up. Time is precious in the Su family, and it's too precious to waste. It's night. The autumn breeze is gentle, the moonlight is like water. A Su family dinner is underway. 3 generations gather around a round table. Su Mingwei and Su Mingyin are both married, and even if they are at home, they usually eat in their own courtyards. Su Mingxu and the others, on the other hand, eat by the Baihan pond. It's rare for the whole family to eat together like this. It's rare to have so many people here. Shitao, you're the head of the family, so please say a few words, Su Chuan said with a faint smile. Su Mingwei stood up, raised his glass, and said, Dad has made a breakthrough this time, so we're all here together. Let's toast him together, to Dad, Grandfather. With the exception of Bai Jing, the younger generation all stood up to toast, while Su Dezhao and Su Dejing drank fruit drinks. Seeing this, Bai Jing lowered her head and wiped away a tear. Mom, why are you crying? Su Dezhao asked. sitting next to Bai Jing. Did someone bully Mom? Zhao is a warrior now and will soon become a third-rate warrior. I can help you teach him a lesson. Bai Jing smiled and touched his head lovingly. Mom is crying tears of joy. Zhao, have you heard of tears of joy? Su Mingshu asked with a smile. Of course I have, Su Dezhao replied. Su Mingshu added, brother, mother, Zhao is truly a natural talent, even better than any of us. He'll be a third-rate warrior in less than 6 months. Wu Rushan looked at Su Dezhao in surprise. With Zhao's talent, he could have broken through to the Xianshan realm before he was 16. I've heard that even in the county, he's one of the most gifted. Su Mingwei laughed heartily. If you keep praising him, this kid's tail will be sticking up. He's worthy of being my eldest grandson, Bai Jing praised with a smile. Looking at Su Mingwei, she said, why, mother, you can't even give me a compliment. Mother, you're joking. Ha ha ha. Everyone burst into laughter. Su Dejing, seeing Su Dezhao being praised, felt a little jealous and shouted, Mom, Ginger wants to learn martial arts too, so he can protect me. Yeah, Ginger is a good kid too. After being praised, Su Dejing contentedly continued to struggle with the tiger skin chicken claws in his hand. Su Mingyan touched Su Dejing's head lovingly. Ginger looks like her mother. Bai Jing nodded and said, Yuan, your eldest brother's third child is about to be born. You and Shaner only have Ginger, which is still a little thin. You have to work harder, Mom. Everyone is here. Why are you saying this? Su Mingyan was a little embarrassed, and Wu Rushan's ears were slightly red. I was urged to get married before, and now I am urged to have children. Why do you urge me for everything? He felt a little depressed in his heart. Mom, Zuji is not young anymore. My sister-in-law and Shaner were also this age when they got married. You should hurry up and find a good family for her. Second brother, this is not very kind of you. How can you bring the war to me so easily? How everyone else was immediately amused. Besides, I'm so outstanding, how could there be anyone in Qingjiang who is worthy of me? So I can only accompany my father and mother until they grow old. Don't talk nonsense. How can a woman not get married? Your mother and I still want to hold our grandchildren. Let Zuji decide for herself. Let her wait until she meets someone she likes. But there is only one thing, the other party can only marry into the family, Su Chuan suddenly said. Husband, this is a bit harsh. Who of those young masters from aristocratic families is willing to marry into the family? I have my own ideas, so it's settled. Second brother, you see I have no hope, so you and second sister-in-law should work harder, Su Mingshu said with a teasing smile. You girl, you are just spoiled by your father, ha ha ha. Chapter 75 Mingxun's Return, Su Diliang. Another 3 months passed. The Su family had trained one first-rate warrior after another, and some of their guards had finally become innate warriors. As for the soldiers they had trained since childhood, many of them had also become third-rate warriors, and they were only in their early teens. They were all talented people who had the potential to reach the peak of the acquired realm in their early 20s. Among them, 2 or 3 had exceptional physiques, and with the Su family's training, they hoped to reach the peak of the acquired realm before the age of 20. The Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School grew stronger and stronger. After some discussion, brothers Su Mingwei and Su Mingyan opened Dragon Elephant Martial Arts Schools in the 4 surrounding counties, recruiting martial arts talents and children with extraordinary physiques for the Su family. Furthermore, each child would be tested for their aptitude for cultivating immortality. Although each county now had an immortality office, the testing required a fee. For families in the county seat, it was easy to have their children tested. But for the ordinary people in the surrounding villages, the cost was considerable. The Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School offers free aptitude tests, and if they find a promising candidate, they will carefully nurture them without charge. This is a stepping stone for ordinary people. Even if it's a risk, they'd still want to try. The Dragon Elephant Martial Arts School advertises itself as recruiting warriors, so the aristocratic families and the Immortal Affairs Bureau in the county naturally wouldn't suspect they possess crystals capable of testing for immortal cultivation. As it turned out, 2 children were discovered in recent months, a boy and a girl, 7 years old, the girl 9. The Su family immediately contacted the children's parents, and they agreed to relocate to Dongxi village and become vassals of the Su family. The parents and their immediate family members would live a prosperous life, while the children would practice key cultivation with Su Chuan at Bihun Pond. Gua, Sanyang, these names aren't formal. I'll give you new names, okay, thank you, old patriarch, Chuan looked at the two children before him, first addressing the boy. Guo, your father's surname is Wu, so you'll be Wu Tao from now on. Sanyang, you'll be Shen Qing Yi, can you read? Both shook their heads. Chuan thought for a moment, then looked at Su Dezhao and said, Zhaoer, set aside 2 hours every day to teach Wu Tao and Shen Qing Yi to read and write. Grandfather, but I still need to practice martial arts. Listen, grandfather. This will also help you temper your impetuous mentality. Got it, grandfather. Wu Tao possessed pseudo-spiritual roots, while Shen Qing Yi possessed mixed spiritual roots. Chuan had brought the two close to Su Dezhao, naturally hoping that through their daily interactions from a young age, they would become his right-hand men. Martial arts, immortal ways. The immortal ways were primary, martial arts secondary. This was the future path of the Su family. For now, the Su family lay dormant in the mountains, quietly accumulating strength. Just wait for the sudden rise of winds and thunder, and the dragon will rise from the abyss, making a startling noise. It's another annual sacrifice. At the border of the Great Way, Su Mingxuan missed his homeland, and feeling bored, he walked out of the tent and took a stroll. Zhuanhong returned from the command and happened to meet him. Seeing that he looked sad, he stepped forward to ask him about his situation. Captain Zhen, Su Mingxuan bowed, but Zhuanhong raised his hand to stop him. No need to be so polite today, you look so sad, you must be missing home. Yes, Su Mingxuan looked at him and nodded heavily. It's been 6 years, who wouldn't want to? When I enlisted, my little daughter was just 6 months old. Now she's a little girl. Captain Zhe gazed up at the sky with emotion, then turned to look at Su Mingxuan. Who else is in your family? My parents are still alive. I have 2 older brothers, a younger brother and sister, and a nephew who's not even a year old. No, he's already 7, it's not a large family. Seeing that you've reached the peak of the acquired realm, I thought you were from a prominent family in Yuhu County, Zhuanhong said in surprise. Su Mingxuan smiled. Thanks to the efforts of my father and brothers, our Su family is barely a small aristocratic family in the county. He followed Chuan's advice and kept a low profile, thus not revealing his breakthrough to the innate realm. Reaching the peak of the acquired realm in his early 20s would put him in the upper echelons of the county's great families. Zhuanhong's lips curled slightly as he chuckled. Your Su family is truly remarkable. For a county family to cultivate such talent, besides their own martial arts talent and perseverance, they would likely have to devote their entire clan's resources. After all, when it comes to martial arts resources, the county simply can't compare to the county. Su Mingxuan couldn't help but chuckle at Zhuanhong's self-righteous expression, as he saw through everything. I'm not going to tell you that I have an elder brother who achieved the innate realm before he even reached 20. My Su family treats ki-inducing pills like bean pills. Okay, enough chatter today. Zhuanhong stood up, preparing to return to his tent. But after only a few steps, he lowered his voice again. Next year, by late spring, in March at the latest, I'll be able to return home in glory. Captain Jack. Zhuanhong made a gesture to silence him, and Su Mingxuan shut up immediately. However, his heart raced, the longing to return home burning as never before, nearly bursting out. He truly wanted to cry out to the heavens and earth, I can go home. However, he knew that doing so would only harm himself and Zhuanhong, who had brought him this news. Overwhelmed with excitement, Su Mingxuan stayed awake all night. Elsewhere, Dongxi, the Su family. It was the anniversary of the death of their ancestors. Naturally, the family gathered for a reunion dinner. Yang Ronghu held a baby, less than 2 months old. It was a girl. At the birth, Su Mingwei was almost overjoyed. Perhaps it was a tradition passed down from Sichuan, or perhaps it was because the Su family had so few women, but the entire family was filled with joy and love. Su Mingwei named her Linger, Su Diling, meaning courageous and decisive. This name evokes a sense of heroic power, as if the cold wind spreads through the golden watchtowers, the cold light illuminates the iron armor. Half a month ago was her full moon celebration. As customary, Chuan had his blood inserted into the family tree. Su Diling, 3rd generation of the Su family, age, 1, spiritual roots. All 5 elements, true spiritual root aptitude, talent, red eagle spiritual eyes, bloodline, none, red eagle spiritual eyes, innate spiritual eyes of the fire attribute, can pierce illusions and condense spiritual light, possessing extraordinary power. Chuan thought he was seeing things, but upon seeing clearly her spiritual roots and talents, he was shocked. Then his eyes filled with ecstasy. The Su family's first immortal cultivation prodigy. Born not only with true spiritual roots but also with spiritual eyes, his potential is likely to surpass even those with Earth's spiritual roots. Shitao is such a fertile kid. He's better than me, Chuan said with a teasing laugh, then fell into deep thought. But if everyone were a genius cultivator, it would be a disaster, not a blessing. Looks like Wiener has no choice but to pursue a martial arts career. Chuan thought 3 consecutive geniuses were a fluke, but outsiders wouldn't necessarily believe it. We still have to let Shitao have 2 more. With this thought, he immediately summoned Su Mingwei to his study and explained everything. He was utterly astonished to hear that Su Dilian was a genius cultivator with true spiritual roots, possessing the rarest natural spiritual eyes in the world of immortal cultivation. Little linger, you'll definitely go straight to the immortal path at the age of 6. But you've already had 3 geniuses in a row. While that's fine now, it will always leave hidden dangers in the future. Chuan patted him on the shoulder and said, so, Shitao, it's best if you have 2 more children. They and Wiener can follow the path of martial arts, while Zhao and Linger can follow the path of immortality. That's the most appropriate approach. Father, you can't just have children whenever you want. Chuan smiled faintly and patted his shoulder. Father believes in your ability. Su Mingwei's mouth twitched. Of course, he was only 26, and based on the frequency of his intercourse with his wife, he felt certain he would have children. However, the former was a family planning plan assigned to him by Chuan, while the latter was human nature, driven by the desire for food and sex. The 2 had completely different impacts on one's mindset. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.